There was this period of Phil being a little subdued, like he got kind of spanked after the Alan Shipnuck interview. That period is officially over.
Yeah, I mean, if we're comparing the fact that he's on one side and Tiger Woods is on the other, and he thinks he's on the winning side, he's never been on the winning side of anything that Tiger Woods has been on the opposing side of him ever. Like, legitimately, he's never been on the winning side of that.
Fore Play brought to you by Barstool Sports, presented by Chevy for the rest of the entire year, maybe forever. We're presented by Chevy, by EVs, the fact that they're for everyone, everywhere. The Blazer, the Silverado, the whole deal. Chevy, great. Biggest news in the world, golf world, well, the whole world really, is we're in a video game. We are in PGA Tour 2K23. This news hit our desk, came across our desk, as Frankie would say, a few months ago. I think the reaction that I saw everybody have on the internet last week was the reaction that we all had when we heard it, which was like, what the fuck are you talking about? We are literally characters that you can play with in the video game. I believe that feature will be released in a few months. We did the whole face scan, which I'm sure we're going to get into. But yeah, we are officially going to be characters you can use in PGA Tour 2K23, along with Tiger Woods, Justin Thomas, Kyle Morikawa, Will Zalatoris, Justin Rose, Xander Schauffele, John Rahm, Tony Finau, Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, 100 Thieves is in it, Dude Perfect is in it, and Fore Play is in it. Before we jump in, I want to say that I think, yes, how far we've come with the brand and Barstool Sports is a big credit to this, but really Frankie and Trent, because Frankie and Trent over the last year, you guys went balls deep in PGA Tour 2K21 to the point where you're doing like 15-hour live streams. Frankie spent years of hours or hundreds of hours building golf courses. You guys went all in on this video game without us really getting a ton in return with the society, with the whole deal. And I think that somehow led to us being in a video game. We all grew up with video games. So in terms of pinch yourself moments, I think for me, this is one of the craziest things that's ever happened, that we're actually in this video game.
Yeah, it's definitely way up there. It's really something that we never thought would happen. Like, I remember playing like Tiger Woods early, or just golf games early on in the 2000s, mid 2000s, and then fast forward 15 years and here we are, and we're going to be included in a video game. It is, the response has been incredible. And it is funny. I was telling this, the news came out Tuesday of last week, and I was in the office watching Bachelor, with Rhea and Fran. And I just sort of offhand, I was telling them the story of how we went and they had the trailer with all of the cameras, and it was so crazy. And I was telling the whole story, and I was talking about how we each went in there individually, and they were like, hold on, like 1 second, you're going to be in a video game? Like, we've known for so long now that it was like, you don't remember how big of the news is, because you're like, holy shit, we're going to be in a video game. So when people found out, they found out Tuesday, a tweet went out, somebody was like, hey, these guys are going to be in a video game. And people were like, what the fuck are you talking about? So it was nice to be reminded just how big of a deal it is, because it's a huge deal.
Yeah, no, I think it's a big one for the other people, kind of give you perspective. I saw the Feidelberg, I think it was, tweeted, was like, holy shit, this is fucking incredible. This is awesome. I had a lot of friends be like, wait a minute, you're going to be in a video game? For me, this is the craziest thing of all time, because I got this news right after I joined. Unbelievable timing.
Right, so you didn't earn it, so I'm just kidding.
No, I didn't. I was just about to say, I was just about to thank you guys. I didn't earn it. I mean, like a month ago, I had like 600 followers on Instagram. I was like a very normal person with like a somewhat normal job. Then I take this Barstool job. I go on my bachelor party in Vegas, and I get an email that says you're going to be a playable game and a playable character in the video game. And I remember in the email, it was bolded. I'll never forget the email. And I remember turning to my brother. I was like, is this some sort of fucking joke? What kind of simulation am I living in? So I go from being in the media center, being a very straight-laced journalist, to 1 month later being a playable character in PGA Tour 2K. So
I did think it was a joke. I did think it was a joke for a really long time. I thought Brennan Jones was like, because he was filming us a lot when we were talking about it. Like, he was saying like, hey, how do you guys feel about being in a video game? And he'd have the camera out, and I was like, this dude, is he just going to put together all this footage fucking with us and then is going to put it out at some point? I don't think he would actually do that, but I'm so insecure that at a certain point I was like, this is a total joke and it's not actually going to happen.
It would have been hilarious and super fair, because it's totally ridiculous on the face.
Yep.
Yeah, this is fake life stuff. There's no way around it. And I was just kidding, Danny. You've definitely earned it on your own way. That's why you're on the podcast. But it's going to be a fun It's going to be a fun way of showing people just how good this game is. This is an amazing move by 2K because we're going to play it anyway. Why not have this resurgence a couple months in after like the hype is already gone from the release, that now in like maybe December, January, whenever they were thinking about releasing this, we're all going to get back into it, and like Fore Play is going to be coming into the game. We've been having talks with them forever about how to get integrated with this game because we knew that we loved it. And whenever we back a product that we genuinely love, like I wouldn't be playing it for 17 hours trying to get a hole in one if I genuinely hated the game. Like I love the physics behind it. I think it's so cool. Like the way it actually bounces like a real golf ball. You have to bend it. You have to fade it. You have to work the wind that's coming in. Like hitting out of the rough is different than hitting out of the fairway. We fell in love with all that stuff. So we had all these talks like we should have our shirts in there. We should have our hats in there. Like, we'll figure it out. And then this year we get an email being like, we're just going to do it all. We're not going to just put the hats in. We're not just going to put the shirts in. We're going to put you guys in, which is fucking insanity.
It's kind of like weird how just normal operational day type email we got. It was like,
Very
you guys got a couple.
That's why I wasn't expecting
swipe ups today
normal.
for like Roman swipes, and then you're in the video game. Like they're gonna literally scan your whole body. You're gonna be like key features in the video game. There's only like 12 people in the whole game. You guys are in it, and then like we're gonna have the merch. You're like, wait, what the fuck did you just write that email? Like, what are you talking about? It's like whole, we're part of that generation. Like my whole childhood from middle school through college was around video games. We like played sports, we watched sports, and we played video games. We didn't go outside as much. We didn't play tag or fucking capture the flag. It's like we played video games. We played Halo. We played golf, hockey, and FIFA. We played fucking everything that you could possibly play. And then now we're all of a sudden in this video game. And I remember a handful of years ago, people talking a lot about, because we spoke on this show a ton about how we were in limbo with golf video games, and people would hit us up a lot. At the time, it was called like the Golf Club, is basically what 2K has become, and people were like, this game is awesome, it's the future, but it was a very niche crowd. It was almost like golf Twitter version of video games, where it was like, people loved the golf courses. You could create golf courses. The golf play was extremely realistic, but it was pretty niche. People weren't that mainstream about it. And then 2K21 came out, and the golf course part made a lot of sense. Frankie made a couple golf courses, and you guys got super into the game. We created the society, which is maybe the biggest society in the history of golf video games. There's like hundreds of thousands of people. And now all of a sudden, this game's got Tiger Woods. It's got us. You could create all your own golf courses. It's got a ton of golf courses. It's just going to be nuts. So it's phenomenal that this game is out. I can't wait to immerse myself in it. I'm going to be back next week after we get back from TaylorMade Media Day. I got the Xbox X Series, which Alex Bush has been dialing me in on, which I didn't even know fucking existed. So we're diving all in on PGA Tour 2K23.
Yep, and Butters Bay is in the game. Knives Creek is in the game. You can search both those. It has a parentheses Fore Play next to it, so for any imposters that try and build something that's similar to it or make it look like it or just try and get some clicks. We also have the Barstool Golf Society on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. So make sure when you go to societies, you are joining the Barstool Golf one. It has a B with the crossed. We couldn't get the cross T logo, but we got the cross golf clubs underneath it. So it's a green emblem. You join the Barstool Golf Society. If you're new to this game because you want to get it that Michael Jordan's in it, Tiger Woods is in it, and the Fore Play guys are in it, and this is your first time playing it, you go to competitive. It says competitive on it. There's all these different modes. And competitive has the societies. You join a society, and essentially it's a online league that we will determine what the tournaments are. We'll play like 3 rounds at a golf course. I'll pick a name of the tournament. We'll set all the parameters around the rules and the regulations and stuff, and then you play. It keeps a live leaderboard about on your stats, and then you can see everyone that you're playing against, how they're doing through the amount of holes that you've played. And after 3 rounds or 4 rounds, whatever we end up picking, there's going to be a champion. So it's super fun. We got 100,000 people in each console last year, which was just fucking insanity that we're playing in these things. We didn't keep up with it towards the end of the game because PGA Tour 2K21 was out for like 2 years, and it was like every week setting a new tournament was just fucking insanity. So we're going to be doing it this year, though. Obviously, we're going hard in this game, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh. Yeah, I think also just the way it was kind of rolled out, we didn't know if we were going to announce that we were in the game, because we had known about this obviously for a couple of weeks, and then usually it was a
Still
weird
don't know
feeling.
if it's okay.
Well, it was a weird feeling having news broken about you. You know what I mean? Like, I've been on the other side of that a number of times where I tweet something and it's always super fun. We've talked about the rush that comes with breaking news. It's fucking unbelievable. This one was seeing news about you and not knowing whether to comment on it was sort of a strange human experience that I hadn't had yet.
I actually thought that was the best way for the news to come out. Like,
yeah.
The other way is we control it.
Yeah, we
do an announcement video and we're like, hey, holy fucking shit, look at this. But instead, Mark Burns, who I don't know who that is, but his tweet got crazy action. He basically leaked the news, and that made it feel cooler. I mean, it's a very cool thing.
Oh, yeah.
But it's very cool to have something leaked about like something cool that you're doing, and it's like, oh boy, look at this. I thought that was the perfect way for it to come out.
It really makes you aware of how strategic and political people are that are knowledgeable about this type of thing and PR and spin, and how valuable it is that they do things this way on purpose. Like, they literally will analyze news that they are in control of and how it should go out so that it'll have the best impact without having a negative impact on them. Like, people fucking do this shit in Washington and in sports and like in finance all the time. And that was a really good exercise, I feel like, for me, because I thought the exact same thing. I was like, man, the fact that a journalist, I believe I've seen this Mark Burns guy pop up a bunch. I think he does like sports business, basically, type stuff.
He tweeted it like a veteran. He had the Capital News, and I mean, he was ready to go.
He's good. I've seen him pop up a bunch. I know Dave's retweeted him sometimes, so he's good. This is kind of his beat when he comes out with this type of stuff. It couldn't have gone better for us because it made it look like we weren't trying to get it out there, which we weren't. We even know we had to go on the behind the scenes. We were like, are we allowed to be tweeting about the fact that we're in this video game? Because everyone's tweeting about how we're in it. And it just kind of worked out. Couldn't have been better for us because, like you said, it made it look like people were actually leaking real news about something involving us, which they were, which is a really weird spot to be in. I loved all the haters coming out. That's such a good sign. The fact they couldn't understand it. It's not even that I dislike these people. I don't even know them. I'm just so baffled at how uninformed and stupid they come off. Like when they're like, I can't believe they're putting them in the game. What do you mean you can't believe they're like, look at the action, look at the engagement, look at how many people care that we're going to be in this game. And it's not just us. The fact that we're on there with 100 Thieves, Nade Shot, our fucking guy, fact that Dude Perfect, they're massive. They're fucking hitting shots with tennis rackets at the Amen Corner. Like they're putting, entities that have huge followings and people that are with rabid fan bases in the game. No shit, they're putting him in the game. And this one guy, I can't remember who exactly it was. It was some guy with that I'd literally never heard of. Not the Will guy, some other guy, was like, he couldn't fathom that there weren't more pros in the game. And I'm like, well, I think the pros, they come with more, it's more red tape to get them in the game.
You have to pay them to be in the game. Let's just call it.
We don't need to be paid. I mean, we'll be paid to promote the game. We don't need to be paid to be put in the game. Like, we get it. We're trying to be big and clout and the whole deal. That's our fucking job. But he's like, I'm just super disappointed that I don't have more pros. And then I saw somebody responding, being like, if you think Mito fucking Pereira being in the game is going to get more downloads and more action and people are going to play with him more than Trent trying to break 90, then you're a fucking idiot. And that's basically my takeaway, was like, I don't dislike these people. I enjoy that they have their own viewpoint. They can be different than mine and ours. That's totally fine. I enjoy respectful discourse. That's great. But when you just come off like you don't understand it, then you're a fucking idiot. That's like, I just can't. I'm like, how does your brain not work? And then you look and it's like, well, clearly your brain doesn't work in this because you're not successful in this. You don't have a following. You don't get any engagement. You don't have so if this is the job that you're trying to do, we're clearly by every measure doing it a billion times better than you are. So you're upset. And that's the same case every time we go through one of these cycles. The same facts become very obvious, very clear. And I think that's what we saw last week. And I enjoyed every second of it. And to speak to how big the news was, I mean, the text that I think we were all getting from different people at Barstool, when big news happens at Barstool all the time. And the fact that this jumped out to a lot of folks, the people like Pat McAfee was commenting on everything. Pat McAfee is one, as big of a sports media figure as there will be over the next 20 to 30 years. And he was commenting and texting, being like, holy shit, this is amazing. So it was very humbling. It was very kind of like, I can't believe we're in this fucking video game. And now it's going to be very funny and very, we're going to be very vulnerable because people are going to send clips and images of them doing really bad, dumb, embarrassing shit with us, with like created digital versions of us. And that's going to happen probably until the end of time now.
Yeah, the main response I got was like, hey, are we going to be able to try to break 90 with your character? And I know like you've heard in the past, like NFL players talk about their Madden rating being like, my speed better be 94 or I'm going to throw a shit fit. I'm actually the opposite. Like I need my numbers to be down so it is difficult to break 90. Now, I don't know how much power we have in regards to like how they put the game together, but I am making a public plea and I'm probably going to try to talk to somebody behind the scenes and I'm going to say, make my character horrible to the point where it's very difficult to break 90 because I want people to play and try to break 90 with my character and have it be difficult. I don't want my driving distance to be like an 80 and I can hit it 290. Like
you don't want someone shooting 67 with Trent Ryan. You just don't want
I really think it'd be a really
challenge though. Like who holds the career PGA Tour 2K23 record with Trent Ryan? Like what is that
record should be like, 84 and not 64. I
Right,
thought
but
it was
it should be like this for everything. Like they should also, this is loud too. By the way, my audio probably just changed for everyone. My computer, once we get back into the streaming world, like I set everything up for 2K the other night and I'm ready to go. I got all these fucking things hooked up. I got these game switchers. It gets the Xbox into the computer and I got these overlays and all these. I got a piece of corn flying around with Trent's face on it every time we go to a new scene. I got this whole thing dialed in. And then my computer just crashes. This is what happened last winter when I would do this. We would do the podcast. My computer would just turn off. The recording turned off. So my audio did not work, I guess, for the first half of the show. But yes, I will say that they should make it very realistic for all of us. Like for Trent, for Riggs, the accuracy on the drives, you should have to get it perfectly in the white or else the ball goes off the planet. Like people should have to use 2-iron off the tee just to get it in the fairway. And then everything else can be more realistic to like how good you are around the greens and stuff. But I don't want this to be a simulation of like an arcadey simulation. I want this to be a realistic simulation. I want them to hate themselves and hate the game of golf, almost turn the game off, rage quit from playing with our characters. Cause that's how we play the game of golf. We don't want to play anymore when we're done. We're so bad. So I want you to make sure that this game is so realistic that people are so mad after playing with us. That's what's going to make the good stuff happen.
I thought the pros' reactions were really funny. Max Homa tweeted, I can't believe I'm not in this game, but you guys are. That really hurts me, which I thought was hilarious. And I got a text from Colin Morikawa that said, if any of because his power ranking was 69, which is objectively funny. And he said, if any of your guys' power rankings are ahead of mine, I'm going to file a complaint with the designers of the game. So people are taking notice, but it will be interesting because the power rankings I saw were kind of like, I think MJ had more power than Colin Morikawa. So the rankings, I'm very curious to see like where we stand. Because if Colin Morikawa's power ranking is a 69, then ours should be in the 50s or the 40s. But we'll see.
The rankings are going to be funny.
Yeah.
We need to be terrible, right? Like
yes.
Terrible.
Morikawa's in the 69. Like
I should be a 15. If Colin Morikawa's 69, I should be a 15.
Way down there. Right. It should be. You have to be the best player in the game, the guy that wins one of our society tournaments every week by shooting a billion under. Should be like he has to play the most impressive round of 2K ever with one of our characters to break 80 or 90 or whatever. It's got to be a shocking round of golf, and like that will be really, really, really fun if they can get it that way. And then, taking our characters around all these world-renowned courses and the courses that people are going to build and Butters Bay. It's just wild. It's fun. It's cool. I'm excited for it, and there's much more to come. So,
Frankie, I am going to need your help. You once asked me on this podcast to come over and help you move a bed. If we're going to stream on 2K, I've got this 77-inch TV on the wall, and I cannot hook up my new Xbox, without taking that TV off of the wall. So I'm going to need you at some point to come over, and we're going to take this TV off the wall. It's not a one-man job. If I were going to do that, I'm going to break that TV, and then I'm not going to have a TV. So
you're hooking it up to the big TV.
Yeah, I think so. I think I would like it on the biggest screen possible.
So your big TV's hanging on the wall right now, and you can't access the HDMI without taking it off, basically?
That's right. I remember when I had the TaskRabbit guy come over and put the TV up, he was like, all right, man, do you have anything else you need to plug in? Because once this goes on the wall, it's going to be really difficult as a person who lives alone to get more HDMI cords plugged into the back. And I was like, I'm good. And
So
I wasn't good because
that like comes off. It's like very much against the wall.
no, it's not like it doesn't have the bracket where you can go left and right. It's just very much on the wall. And I screwed up because at the time I had a sound bar that I didn't plug in. So that's just been sitting there collecting dust. And now I've got this new Xbox that I would love to play 2K on. And I can't get my TV off the wall. So Frankie, at some point,
I got you.
I'm going to need your big, strong muscles to come over and help me.
We'll get that thing dialed in.
I think I'm gonna need when I get next week after we're doing Tournament Media Day, when I get back, I think I'm gonna have to do what basically Trent did. I'm gonna have to get my whole TV set dialed in with the Xbox, with the whole thing, and we're going all in. I mean, this winter we are gonna stream and we are gonna be video game guys, and it's a amazing kind of coincidence, I guess, that we started talking about this a few weeks ago because I was just bored back in Arizona. I had some downtime. I didn't want to be outside running, packing, doing shit. I just wanted to sit on my ass and play video games. I fired up the Xbox One. It like doesn't work because it's so old. And we were talking Halo, COD, which people were chirping us for not calling it COD, but I still always call it COD, so I'm going to call it COD. And now we're going to get fucking 2K fired up. So I'm excited for video games. I'm excited for this resurgence. Like you kind of mentioned something last week, Trent, that my buddies and I used to do every couple of years, which we would get back into Halo. We would, and it was now people are more of the crew have families and kids. You can't just come home from work and play Halo like we used to be able to do. But there was that phase where even 5, 6, 7 years after college, people came back. Yeah, maybe they had a significant other and they had a job, but like they had a 2 or 3 hour window every night where they were like, it's Tuesday, it's Wednesday, Monday Night Football's not on, Thursday Night Football's not on. Like, let's fucking play Halo for 3 hours. And we would do that a lot. And it was the most fun time ever. So now, this winter, we're getting back into video games.
I'm just waiting for my first text from Frankie and Trent telling me that they're streaming and inviting me. It's going to happen.
We haven't done anything yet.
I know you haven't. I know you haven't. I'm just
we'll wait a couple.
The first time we do.
We'll wait a couple of streams. We don't want you right off the rip, but you'll get
definitely don't want me screwing up the first one.
You'll get in the mix for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Having two of us, I will say, Frankie, he's just pulling levers over there. I don't know what his setup is like to like get my screen and his screen, all of us playing together, all of it timed up. He's just running around with duct tape, like trying to put things together. Like we just saw it with this. He dropped out of the podcast. Because he had it all set up for one thing. And if you change one thing, it all melts down and it's a nightmare. And then
we used to spend hours last year because we couldn't hear each other. I was like, nothing has changed from Tuesday to Wednesday, but something has changed digitally on my computer. I didn't touch anything. The last time we saw each other, we just logged off and then we logged back on, and now all of a sudden we can't hear each other. So what is that problem? And then we would go through each thing and I would like re-download fucking softwares, and it was a nightmare. So we're going to dial that in this year for sure.
Alex Bush, our behind the scenes guy who's on this podcast
He's
right now.
He's a fucking nerd.
He's a
Bills, nice win, Bills.
He's a huge video game guy, and I think he is gonna be very helpful in holding our hands through things that are pretty easy, but things that we can't figure out. So hopefully it'll be a little bit more seamless this time around.
Yesterday in the office, or not yesterday, last week, Alex was like, "Man, when Riggs tries to talk about video games, he sounds like a grandpa."
I agree. I'm aware of that. That's why I'm trying to talk it out, so I feel I can speak about it less like I'm 87 years old when I'm talking about video games.
Fuck. Yeah, I don't want to. I'm a little nervous about screwing up the significant technological undertaking. So when you guys have that dialed in and you're ready to go, and you feel like you can just add one more, you let me know.
Okay,
definitely.
Chevy EVs. Reminder, go check them out. If you're just bored right now, right? I know you're bored. You got your internet browser up, whatever you use. Just go look up Chevy EVs and just scroll through there. It's fun. You can you could start to reserve your own cars. You could play with the colors, the interior. You could see the different options that they got on the EVs, and you can see how badass they look.
The infotainment screens, screens are incredible.
Infotainment, so
I love
my lease is coming up in
that word.
February, I believe, and I just have to get a Chevy. I think. I mean, I've looked at so many Chevys online from doing these ad reads and having this partnership and them being the presenting sponsor that I don't know that I can go to another brand and just purchase their car for the next 3 years. I think I have to go to Chevy because they make a really good selling point on how good their cars are. You know what I mean? Like the ads are working, the reads are working. They worked on me. I look every night.
And you've been itching to dip your toe in the electrical car world. You've been talking a lot about it. You think it's very cool, and it is. And it would be cool to get one just to see how fucking awesome it is.
I think I'm gonna get the Chevy logo on my golf bag.
Whoa.
Wow.
Okay.
I love the logo. I'm looking at the front of this Blazer EV right now. I'm on their website. This like red maroon one, which is awesome. Just imagine that logo like on your bag, dude, like right above your name there. It's fantastic.
Sponsored athlete.
I'm gonna get that logo embroidered on my golf bag.
Should I get it tattooed on my arm? I mean, fuck.
Do it.
Like a rock. I'll just get like a rock in like kind of artsy cursive so that people don't know that it's a Chevy commercial.
Me and Alex Bush one night when we were at Big Cedar, we were Googling Chevy like a rock hats. They got some phenomenal Chevy like a rock hats.
I bet they do. I bet the merch game for Like a Rock is pretty good.
Phenomenal. You're going to love it. So anyways, EVs for everyone everywhere. We love Chevy. They got the full line brand like Chevrolet. We can offer multiple EV vehicles with the volume, variety, and the value customers all over the world have come to expect. EVs for everyone everywhere. We love Chevy. All right. We got some golf news to talk about. Keegan Bradley. So really cool clip. Keegan Bradley wins first time in 4 years. Emotional guy, always has been, wears his heart on his sleeve, the whole deal. His little FaceTime, I believe, that he had with his wife back home, crying, showing the emotion. I fucking love it. I love it. We talk so much about golfers' roboticness, and I get that. Roboticness is an asset out there in golf. The way Patrick Cantlay, Xander Schauffele, the way that they play, that probably lends itself to playing better, more consistent golf when your heart is just like this, flat line. You're not up, you're not down. You just go through it. You're consistent, blah, blah, blah. But it's way more fun to watch somebody like Keegan Bradley, even if you can't stand the fidgetiness, or if you're watching Jordan Spieth, you can't stand the fact that he's always talking to his ball and it sounds like he's whining half the time. But infinitely more entertaining to watch. Same with Keegan Bradley. Infinitely more entertaining to watch. You guys extremely emotional out there. He gets into everything. And then when he wins after playing lights out down the stretch, he said he played like the best hole of his life. Gets the W, the emotions afterwards. Keegan, one of the original friends of the program, People's Golfer 2.0, I believe he was, right after Jim Renner. So congrats to Keegan Bradley.
Congrats to Keegan Bradley. Shout out to Ricky Fowler. Finished second. He was there all week.
It was supposed to be his tournament. Everybody wanted that to be Ricky's tournament. You can tell, like on Saturday night, and it always happens like near the end of a tournament, people start to be like, all right, this is the guy who we think is going to win. So let's pull up all the statistics about how bad they've been for the last couple of years and let's shove it in everyone's faces. And Ricky got that treatment on Saturday, and then Keegan Bradley just won it. But yeah, Ricky played well. He finished second, but
he finished second. He finished sixth in the first event of the year. So obviously Ricky made a ton of changes in the offseason. He said deuces to Joe Scovron, who's been his caddy for a long time. Mutual breakup. Everyone's friends there. There's no bad blood. Joe Scovron, since caddying, landed Tom Kim's bag, so things are going well for him. Ricky's got a new caddy on the bag. He left John Tillery. He's no longer a stablemate of Trent Ryan. Gone back to Butch Harmon.
Trent, are you pretty happy he didn't win? Part of you happy?
The Till gang has no comment.
Till laid the foundations for this comeback, bro. Come on.
I fired Tiller, and now he's playing great.
No,
hold on. I mean, he's been playing the best golf he's played in 5 years. Have you talked to Tillery about this?
We all know that change of scenery is a real thing in sports. Totally. Whether it be a baseball player, football player, golfer, I genuinely think that's what's going on here. It was just like
he just hated the scenery with Tillery.
No, I'm just saying that like at a certain point, like
it was just gross.
Maybe if it's not working, you guys better watch it. Okay.
He's just like looking around being like, oh, this is such better scenery now. I just get to like play golf.
Not good enough to win, but if all I'm saying is that I do think it's a change of scenery thing. It has almost nothing to do with Tillery. It's
Have
just
you
that,
thought about like you'd break 90 if you changed scenery with Tillery?
don't
Should
do that.
should we switch
I'm
to
just
Bush?
I'm asking, like, if we get to like 2 or 3 years of not breaking 90, at some point we might need a scenery change. Do we?
The only way I have a coaching change is if Tillery fires me. There's
Okay.
no way
Okay. That's
I'm
loyalty.
riding with my guy forever.
Good
As
for
long
you,
as
Trent.
he allows me to be in his stable, as long as I'm not ruining his reputation to the point where it's actually affecting his life and he wants to get rid of me, until that happens, I'm sticking around. I'm not going anywhere. The ups and the downs, the thick and the thin, that's me. All right? With my swing coach, John Tillery.
This weekend, it kind of hit me. Ricky looks old, man. Like Ricky, I know he's not young and he hasn't been young for a while by golf standards. He's 33 years old now, but I don't know if it's the last
pretty
year
old.
or two. I don't know.
Pretty young.
I don't know if
Pretty young.
I'm just saying.
Pretty
I don't
young.
know if it's that he's not wearing the same outfits anymore. I
Baby.
don't know if it's because he cut the hair or whatever. But Ricky's looking like someone who's in his like low to mid 30s, and it's kind of fucking with my head. But great to have him back playing good golf because. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, you go ahead. No, you go.
No. That's it. That's all I got.
Makes
No.
me want to puke.
Well, we had said a couple years ago when things weren't going well that he needs to change everything. We wanted him to start going by Rick. We wanted him to wear black every time,
black.
just blacked out
Let it
all the
out.
time, and just be Rick. Like that. I think that's the way that things turn around. Now he's turned it around anyway, but he still does wear the orange on Sunday, which is
Yeah, he wears the orange, but like he'll be a little more tasteful with it. It'll be like orange cut pants or a hat is orange. It's not the head to toe skater boy look like Ryan Scheckler.
Oh,
Scheckler. You know, the old Puma hats that
had
have
him on
the
the podcast.
outline.
Yeah, we know what he used to look like. I mean, it was the most iconic look of all time, but I want to say that it started to get childish. It started to get real childish as a 33-year-old to start wearing a creamsicle on Sundays and like all the little kids are running around. He was the number one autograph guy coming off. I get the whole thing. But like, come on, at some point we had to turn it around. We had to start going by Rick. We had to start wearing fucking black. And he started playing better. We got a lot of tweets when he started changing it. Like he started looking like a Rick out there. Slick Rick was back. He changed everything about him. He's got married. He's got kids and stuff now. It's like, this is a new guy. No more creamsicle.
George Carlin is a perfect example. If he wants to go the George Carlin route, George Carlin was this happy, clean-cut guy who wore a suit on all these talk shows, and then he dropped acid and started wearing black all the time, and people were like, this guy is fucking the real deal, and everything changed. Now George Carlin is one of the greats. One of the greats. If Ricky Fowler, I don't know if he has to drop acid, but if he wants to start wearing black and being like, I'm a new person, I have evolved, I think people would be super into that.
Well,
Like a Matthew McConaughey move, right? Go from being the joke comedy actor to being Dallas Buyers Club.
The early iteration of Ricky Fowler was a character. There's no way he can deny that. He very much bought into this like whole entire system of him being like the pretty boy. He looked like Zac Efron with the hair coming out. He wore an orange creamsicle outfit. And now if he's going to go with the character route, let's change character. We're 33 years old now. We've got the family. We're going black. We're going all jet black. This is a fucking business decision and we're here to murder people. And that's what he's doing. I really like it. He's getting older. He's changing his character and we're fans of it. I'm a fan of Ricky Fowler and his changes.
Yeah, a little bit of Leo, a little bit. I mean,
Yep.
he's a pretty boy painting chicks, and then next thing you know, he's trying to get an Oscar. He gets fucked by a bear. It's like
Yep,
you gotta.
that's it.
Sometimes you
That's
gotta.
exactly
Simple as
right.
that.
Next thing you know, face down by a bear.
That's all it took.
It really is a
like,
tale as old as time.
gotta
At a
do what it
certain
takes.
point, you just gotta evolve, and Frankie's right. You can't be that creamsicle character your whole life because imagine if Ricky is 50 years old and still kind of doing the creamsicle thing on Sundays, and it's like, no, man, you did that. The checks were huge. I'm sure they were huge. I'm sure they're still
Big time
huge
checks.
in terms of advertisements, but. If you really want, like if you have the drive to win a major and be up there with your buddies who are now just stalwarts at the top of the world golf rankings, you might have to change something. You might have to change everything. And that's what's going to work.
There are guys
T5.
that don't have characters. Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth have just been the same exact person since the time we saw them grace our TVs. I don't think you'd be able to tell the difference one way or another. So, I mean, it is cool that he is a character, that he can change his outfits, he can change his costume, and it's a noticeable difference. But, I mean, you can't tell me the difference. If I just showed you from afar a picture of Justin Thomas from this year and from 6 years ago, there's no way you see any difference.
He was fatter.
Okay. But, he hasn't
that's the
changed
biggest
his, like,
change. He talks about
appearance,
it,
though.
too. He talks about it, too. He's like, look at me. I was 30 pounds more back then.
Right. We have this neck problem. I think that's just genetics. Something's going on. We get it right here in the face.
T5 finish for Sahith Theegala, another great finish for a friend of the program. So that was nice. He's 52 in the world now, getting close to being top 50. That's a matter of time.
Oh, great. That's our guy. We're going to do a scramble against him. I feel it. I can sense it. It's coming. And I hope that we win. And we got to do a chess game. We got to figure out some kind of chess game. Do we ever find an opponent for him?
Well, little insider nugget here. I heard that he was doing some interviews with a to-be-released piece of content that everyone's very excited for, where he was talking a lot about the chess stuff, the Netflix show.
Yeah, somebody hijacked the chess thing from us.
I saw the tour. Did the tour definitely?
Yeah, the tour took the chess thing. I didn't love that.
It's all right.
I didn't love that.
Okay.
It's fine.
He said he got like 500 challenges, so there's definitely a lot. I don't know if any of the pro golfers have put.
Wonder where he got those challenges from. I wonder why that happened.
Yeah, no, probably just his social profile
or the PGA Tour.
Saw him walking down the fairway. We're like, wow, I should suggest a match against that guy on fucking chess.com.
Yeah. I don't know. But good finish for Sahith. Brooksy won. Liv.
He did.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to a little Brooksy. We got some Liv stuff to get to. We got Phil Mickelson and all that. You got games to get to. What should you use, boys and girls? Playoff baseball is going on. NHL's back. Game time. Official partner of Barstool Sports. Shout out to the St. Louis Blues, 1-0. Absolute dominant performance on home ice against the Columbus Blue Jackets on Saturday night. I saw the New York Islanders bounce back after losing. I think they lost opening night, and then they won like 7 million to 1 or something like that.
Yeah, they lost opening night. They played a good game. Trent Ryan was in the building. It was good vibes, good atmosphere. Fun to be back at UBS. We were there all day long. We got there at like 3:30. Game didn't start till 7:30. It was a marathon of a day. Game time got us
What were you guys doing there so early? Were you just hanging?
Just hitting bars, hitting restaurants.
There
the
is
whole
this
deal.
really nice restaurant in
Borelli's?
UBS.
We didn't start at Borelli's, but we did start at Belmont.
Went straight to UBS, and there's like I don't even know what that bar is called, but it's a really
Belmont
nice
Hall.
Yeah, where you can just hang out, get drinks, get dinner, or get food, and then go to the game. We had made a full day of it, and it was a delight.
Full day. Game time got us in. It was amazing. Last minute tickets. My dad went with us. My buddy Andrew went with us. We had a fantastic time. Tough loss. They played really well. It just was one of those things that proposal that happened inside in the stands that went viral. That was the game changer. Luckily, it wasn't a season changer. I did say that I thought that the Islanders would not win a regular season game after that happened. Because you just can't get denied the proposal. Have the girl run up the stands. She runs away. You're shirtless saying, please say yes, 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 which is the Islanders goal chant. And then she runs away. You're shirtless now drinking a beer. The whole stadium's looking at you. As this happens, the Islanders give up the game-winning goal on the ice. Everyone's like, boo, boo. There's boos everywhere.
It was
booing the guy, booing the team. It was just like, we can't have that on opening night. So, yes, huge bounce back, 7-1 win the other night, and we're ready to go. Game time. We are so into game time, Trent, now that we're just going to be going to every game that we can.
Yep. Download the Game Time app if you're Trent or Frankie or really anybody out there listening. You want to go to some games, concerts, anything, any event. Go to the account tab, create a login, redeem code 4 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time, last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Use the code 4. Game Time, get $20 off your first purchase. So I went to Truist Park last year with a little bit of the Barstool Classic crowd, and it's in like this Battery Park type area that there's all kinds of like, it's like its own area around there. Is that sort of what where the Islanders' new spot is? There's like restaurants and shit around there?
Well, they're building an entire like city walk type place across the street. So that's like a 2 or 3 year thing where it's going to be huge restaurants. They're building a hotel. So all of that stuff is being built. But right now it's just the building, like the UBS Arena, and then Belmont Racetrack is touching it. So you got the racetrack to the right. You've got the hockey arena right in the middle. You've got the busiest street of Hempstead Turnpike right there.
That's great for Borelli's. I was going to say, that's great for Borelli's with the foot traffic, isn't it?
No, so yeah, you're off right here with the Borelli stuff. So Borelli's used to be at the Coliseum, so it's a really sore subject. The more you keep bringing that up, it's like Borelli's used to be across the street from the Coliseum.
I can tell you just snapped a little.
Well, they've moved like 20 minutes away, so we don't really get the foot traffic like we used to for the last 60 years. We've been around for 68 years. The Islanders were there for 50 years. They just left.
You got to be really good on your feet if you're going to get.
But you know, now that we're talking about it, if you are coming west, if you're from the eastern side of Long Island, which is like 90% of the Long Island fans, they're not from Belmont or like New York City. That's just not where they're coming from. If you want to come, you can just stop at Borelli's before, get there at like 4:30, 5:30, and then you have your dinner, and then you just go down the street to 20 minutes, and you get to UBS. There's really nowhere to eat around the stadium, so you can go to Borelli's. You just got to drive there. Can't walk there, unfortunately. I used to love fucking walking
ravioli.
there.
Good pizza.
Best. That's the only thing I used to do.
All right. Moving on. Brooks Koepka won his first time winning on Live Golf. Revealed a lot afterwards. He's talking about his injury and his knee and how he really thought there's a chance he might not play golf again. How the last couple of years have been pretty miserable for him when it comes to golf and the whole deal. He had a little bit of back and forth with his brother Chase about how he said if their team wins and how he's pumped about the team win, he's buying like a Lamborghini and the whole deal. The Live Golf thing is still just weird. I mean, they were in Saudi Arabia. There's like, I saw a couple tweets about it. There just weren't, he's in a playoff and there just weren't any spectators in the playoff. Like none. I mean, they had a hospitality thing kind of set up around the 18th green that there were human beings in, but the rest of the golf course, there's no human beings watching. It's just they're playing a playoff for $4 million and literally no one is out there. No fans are out there following them. It remains to be weird. It also remains to be, in my opinion, like the things that you are seeing that look good and exciting is very much like North Korean controlled media. Like they're the only things that like are positive about it that you could be is what they're only showing you. Like they're not showing you anything else. That's like what they're releasing and putting out there. And even that doesn't look overly exciting. So the whole thing again, just kind of weird. Brooks Koepka wins because he's always had kind of a weird relationship with the media and with golf and all that. So congrats to him, I guess.
Yeah, I wrote about this in the Monday Morning Wrap, which just went live at 10:30 a.m.
Click that shit, read it.
Yeah, click it, read it, do all that good stuff. Yeah, that was weird. That was really, really weird. And I think that conversation that they were having, that Brooks and Chase, you mentioned that little back and forth where Brooks was like, oh, I got to buy Chase a Lambo now. And Chase is like, weird. Yeah, lime green. That was just sort of like a what the hell are we doing here kind of situation. You've got Chase Koepka, who by all accounts is a really nice kid. I actually know Chase a little bit. He's a great guy. The only reason he's playing in Live Golf is because of his brother, right? So we all know that. His brother wins a playoff while wearing shorts, which I thought just looked weird. It just did. In Saudi Arabia on a golf course that no one's there. And no one watched. I think the final round averaged 25,000 viewers. It was like 13,000 for the first couple rounds. And they're joking about how he's just going to buy him a Lambo because he just made $5 million. It was just like, what's going on here? This is not sustainable. This is not real life. It just felt like a very, very bizarre, surreal scene. There was music playing, and it's like music on the golf course is kind of cool when the vibe is right, but when there's nobody out there and it's a professional golf tournament and you just hear some weird like Katy Perry song playing in the background, I think you're just kind of like, what is this? So the whole thing very much looked and felt like a pro-am, except there was like $12 million at stake at the end. So yeah, I think they're probably looking forward to getting back on U.S. soil. There'll probably be a good amount of people in that Miami event, I would think. It's at Trump. Miami's obviously a huge golf market. They're off this week. It's next weekend. But yeah, I can't imagine that there have to be guys who played in that event who were like, what did I get myself into? What am I doing here?
It's weird. I don't know what else to say.
Kind of my takeaway too. It almost like looked like Brooks and them, like they have to be either now, or I feel like sometimes like we'll look back and that moment, those clips would be kind of like, what was I doing? I mean, I guess maybe they won't with all the money, but it's like, it's almost, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's like you said, Dan, it's like they're laughing about all this money that they're going to spend on this Lambo and stuff. And it's like, well, there's no one watching, no one doing it.
That money's just coming straight from oil.
Yeah.
It's not like you earned the money because people are excited about the tournament and watching the tournament. There's all this sponsorship. Like, you got the money because some Saudi prince decided that this was a good idea.
What I know about we've already talked about how they've given up all this stuff about caring about winning. That has they're essentially businessmen. Do businessmen like talk about where all their money's coming from every time they make an acquisition? Do they like cheers to all that? Like they just kind of go on with their thing. They're just like, yeah, $5 million gonna go buy a Lambo. It's like
it's
my
just
life
a weird
is
adjustment
awesome right now.
Yeah, it's just a weird adjustment watching it as a sport. We talked about it a little bit last week, where the young kid who won a couple weeks ago. It's just you don't know the context surrounding it. So yeah, it is like a business. It is there. We don't care about eyeballs. We don't care about how many people are watching. We just get to make money. It's just a weird way to watch sports because we've never seen it that way before.
Because sports is an entertainment product. That's the thing, is it's always been an entertainment product.
Always.
The money's always come from the fans.
They're certainly trying to make an entertainment product. Like, the people behind the scenes are trying. It's just when there's no fans, like you're saying, it's awkward as hell. But there's not, the players might not be trying, but the league is for sure trying to make it. That's what they're trying to do, right? Like, that's why they have a shotgun. That's why they have all this weird things on the broadcast. They're trying to change the entertainment value. It's just not working yet.
It is tough. Like, they have to pull all the weight, all the people from behind the scenes. I get that, like, the players, they post about it and they're like, look at this party we're at, look at this private jet that we're on. But they got their money and they're just like, I'm pretty happy. We can go buy lime green Lambos. It's tough to sell a product like that when the players don't seem overly into like making it an entertaining product.
Right. I agree. I think what we're learning is that like the entertainment in golf is people down the stretch playing for something that the viewer can tell matters to them. I think that's really the entertainment in golf. You could try all this other shit. You know, you can try like trick shots and top
it's never the money,
gamification and long drive. And it's like, and you could try even in FedEx Cup. They've tried it for 10, 15 years, however long it's been, injecting just money and being like, well, I hope they care. And it's helped a little bit. But at the end of the day, if the guys don't care, I mean, you've had over the years, you've had guys skip playoff events because they're just like, I mean, you know, whatever. This isn't the fucking Masters as hard as you try. I do think that for the most part, the thing that's going to consistently drive entertainment value in the world of golf is being able to tell as the spectator viewer that the golfer in that moment cares a lot and it's affecting how he's playing and he's trying to keep it together. He's trying to hit great shots. He or she, they're trying to get it done and and it's a grind and we've all been there. We've been under pressure on the first tee if there's just 4 people watching so you can relate to a degree as a golfer. And like you could try the music and all that, and that seems cool and like a little bit more fun for the people playing. But as the viewer, I don't think you're like, you know what, I'm gonna watch this now because they got a little Katy Perry on in the background. Like, fuck yeah, that's not. Yeah. You know, you're watching because you're like, holy fuck, I heard he's birdied 3 in a row and then hit one out of bounds because he's so nervous and he's trying to win on the PGA Tour for the first time and it matters. That's like what he grew up wanting to do. Like that or the Masters. Like we all watch the Masters because like it's not the highest paying thing. It's not like Cam Smith got more for the Players Championship, but like everybody watches the Masters because you know that the Masters means the world to everybody playing in it. And if they can win the Masters, that will change their life forever. And it's like that's why you care. And like Frankie said, it's like they're trying to do the entertainment value thing, but they're just not successful with it yet.
Comparing it to the PGA Tour, did you guys think the Keegan Bradley win in a tournament that mattered, like took over people's TVs on Sunday? Like we're acting like the PGA Tour is this like incredibly, they capture the hearts of America. I mean, I know all 4 of us. I think 3 of us didn't watch the
Keegan crying on the phone with his wife went pretty viral, and everybody
the clips for sure,
awesome.
Yeah, there's clips for sure. I think the only time we see live on Twitter is when we see clips as well. I'm talking about the actual like live aspect of the PGA Tour that's not a major. It's still not very entertaining.
Right. But I think that the 2 things can be true
at all.
There is a lot of apathy on the PGA Tour. There is a lot of events that seem to sort of like, did this really matter to the general public? And
definitely.
I definitely think one in Japan that happens in the middle of the night is not one that's, especially during the heart of college football and pro football season, is not really going to register on people's radars. It was just something that people didn't see. But I think what Riggs was saying, and I totally agree with, is just like no one ever watches sports because of how much money the guys are making. And that's the only real distinguishing factor of the live events right now. Like the team stuff, just for me at least, it just isn't really catching. It was cool. There was a novelty about it in the beginning. I just don't think anyone actually cares about the crushers or this or that. Like, I don't think the players care, if they're being completely honest. I don't think all these accounts that you're seeing online are not real people, or if they are real people, they're not who they say they are. It just doesn't feel like there's anything about live that is bigger or different apart from all of the money. And I just don't think that that's sufficient to drive up fan interest. Now, that's not saying that there aren't too many PGA Tour events. There are. There are way too many PGA Tour events. There's too many events that no one cares about. There's about to be another. This one's actually really good this week, but then there's 4 more fall events that not that many people care about. But there are still that core of PGA Tour events that are, Riviera and are Bay Hill and are these ones that happen that aren't in the fall that people do care about, and the reason is not because of the money.
Right.
Yeah, you're right, Frankie. I mean, most PGA Tour events I don't really care about for sure, but I do think
Just saying it's a tough weekend to talk about like how no one cared about the live event when like no one cared about the PGA Tour event because it was impossible to watch, like you're saying, with everything that's going on. It's just a tough weekend for golf viewership. So I do think that's like we're hammering home how hard of like a product it is to watch when like I wasn't sitting around watching the PGA Tour this weekend with the greatest slate of college football ever this weekend, and you had playoff baseball and hockey starting. It's like it's just a tough week.
But it's an overarching, I think, tell on the difference between the two, that the guy that won on the PGA Tour is literally crying on the phone, and the guy that won on Live is like laughing in a press conference about
buy his little brother a Lamborghini,
a green like Lamborghini, and it's nobody was, it's just like
I agree.
There's just a difference, and I think over every event, it's like clearly people caring that much that they're going to be bawling with their fiance on the phone versus people laughing about a Lamborghini is going to make it more compelling to watch the tournament where guys are going to cry about it afterwards.
I do agree with that.
Something that truly didn't register, and we talked about this a little bit before we started recording, was the women's Saudi event that happened this weekend in New York. It was the Aramco Series Ladies European Tour event. So Aramco is obviously the Saudi state-owned oil company. I think it's the biggest company in the world. They have these events all around the world. So there was one in Saudi Arabia. There's one in Spain. There's one in New York. I know there's some other places. And no one gave the women any crap for playing. It just sort of happened. No one really noticed. And it's just there is such a double standard. I'm not saying that it's a good thing or a bad thing, but we can't pretend that there's not a crazy double standard when it comes to men taking Saudi money and women taking Saudi money.
Well, one of Rory's comments that has still gone under the radar because he is like the prince of the PGA Tour was when he basically said, if this is going to be a thing, it might as well be a good thing for golf because they do the Aramco women's series. Like he stated all of these reasons as to why, like if we're not getting rid of it, let's just at least embrace the fact that it is good for golf because people are talking about golf and money's coming into golf. Like, so this Aramco series has been talked about before by PGA Tour players. Where it's like, yeah, I mean, like that is something they do. They like do a women's tour that like they play these series, and they played where at Ferry Point, which is like a cool Ferry Point.
It was way more money than the normal LPGA event.
Yeah, no, it is interesting. It is a complete double standard when it comes to it. I mean, yeah, I would have loved to. Like, was there any talk on Twitter at all about any of this? Like, Brandel tweet about this? Nothing.
The only reason I know is because I have a buddy who played in the tournament because his real estate company does like crazy business with the PIF. Like, that's the only reason I even knew it was happening.
And I believe, because Brandel and Eamon, friends of the program, have been obviously the most vocal opponents to the entire live golf scene and Saudi-backed really anything. And, I think they were making the point months ago when this would be brought up, not specifically this event, but just in general, that like, well, Saudi-backed Saudi golf is that like, there's an astronomical difference in the amount of money that the women currently make, and that them having even an opportunity to make a lot more is drastically different than the men who already, if you're really successful on the PGA Tour, you're making tens of millions, and that's just not the case if you're really successful on the LPGA Tour. So that like a drastic influx in money that they can play for is completely game changing for the women, and whereas it's not like completely game changing for the men. That's the only like point to play devil's advocate that I've really heard, but it's clearly a double standard. I mean, clearly I didn't see any of the flack, or at least I didn't see a single piece of flack. Now it's probably out there. Maybe I just didn't see it, but it's clearly not even close to the degree that it's been against anyone going to live golf. And yeah, I don't even see anything about it.
Yeah, and Liv is
fucking going on.
Liv is interesting because they try and distance themselves from the Saudi connection a lot. I mean, obviously there's the Saudi guys who are hanging out, but you don't see any Saudi Arabian signage or anything like that. I was looking at some pictures of this Aramco event. Like, there's Aramco fucking everywhere. I mean, it is very, very much a Saudi production. And they did it in New York City, not all that far away from, the site of the 9/11. It was just, I was very, very surprised at how little discussion there was about it all weekend.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy.
Agreed. And we've played it. We've all played Ferry Point.
Tough track.
The three of us. It's hard. It's sweet. It's really cool. It's right.
It's close.
In the Bronx right there. And
it was built for like a U.S. Open, wasn't it? Like they wanted to get a U.S.
basically.
Open there, and they just won't because of the name. So I mean,
That
it's
was
one of the
apparently the
coolest courses
first-
in New York.
Yeah, that was apparently the first like legitimate professional golf tournament in one of the 5 boroughs.
Right. I mean, it's one of the coolest golf courses in the area. There's no doubt about it. Like the practice range, the facilities, the restaurant there, the place is fucking phenomenal.
It's awesome.
All the
DJT
views of the
45
city.
got an ace, first round ever played on the 12th hole.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of history. This place is unbelievable.
They had to take away the sign because people were pissing on it. So they had a sign on the floor that said Trump hole-in-one first round, and it just smelt and was deteriorating by piss, which is just an outrageous move. So then they moved it up top to like on a post, and then someone like bashed it with a hammer. It's just like, they're playing a Trump golf course, but they couldn't accept the hand. They were using the T's and the logos for the ball markers, but they couldn't handle the little sign on the 12th hole, which was very funny to me.
Some of the holes out there are spectacular.
Yeah.
I mean, that venue is really, really cool. You have to wonder if it didn't have the Trump name and everything that's gone on in the last 6-7 years, if they would have gotten bigger events over time. So I'm glad that place actually did get a professional golf event, even if like we just said, nobody was talking about it, not even clearly as much as they should have been. But it is really cool. I think that one too, I don't think Trump owns it. I think it's city owned, but they basically
They tried to take it away after January
managing
6th,
it.
so I don't know what happened since then.
I think they just manage it. Like, I don't think they ever owned it. I think they're just licensed to basically like manage and operate it under the Trump name or something like that. So anyway,
Good for
it's a
that.
really-
The super there too. We met him when we played there, and he's just like the coolest guy ever. That's got this golf course like dialed into a major championship venue style golf course, and now he gets to. I remember talking to him a couple months ago, being like, "Dude, this is going to be so sick that you have an actual tournament coming here." He's like, "This is what we've been waiting for. This is what this course was built for. The fact that I get to like prepare for an actual tournament that professional golfers will be playing on is something that I wanted to do when I came over here and took this job." So it's like, it was very fulfilling for the guys that work there day in and day out to finally do what the golf course was kind of built to do. So that was a pretty cool thing for that behind the scenes crew.
Yeah, I hope that place gets more tournaments. It's just a fantastic spot. It really is. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's close.
Really close.
Really close. Shopify. Shopify makes it simple to sell to anyone from anywhere, whether you're selling warm-ups or wall hangers. It's time to start selling with Shopify and join the platform simplifying commerce for millions of businesses worldwide. With Shopify, you'll customize your online store to your brand. You will discover new customers, and you will build the relationships that create diehard fans. Maybe you get yourself in a video game. Shopify fields all the sales channels to grow a winning business, from an in-person POS system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform, even across social media platforms like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Thanks to 24/7 support and free on-demand business courses, Shopify is on your team every step of the way. You can sign up for free trial at shopify.com/4, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/4 to start selling online today. That's a free trial. Shopify.com/4. Go check them out. We love Shopify. Fred Couples, Freddie Boom Boom.
So sick.
First win in 4 years. He final round 60. He had 5 birdies in a row, I believe, to close
7.
out the front 9, and then he had 7 in a row to close out the entire tournament.
Wow.
So he had just a phenomenal round of golf. I think he shot 12 under 60. He's 63 years old, so he dusted his age and won the golf tournament by like 6 shots over on the senior tour. So congratulations to Fred Couples.
And after the round, they have their playoffs starting this week, like the FedEx Cup playoffs for the seniors. He's like, I'm not playing. Can't be bothered. He's like, my back. He's like, my back is sore. I'll start hitting balls again toward the end of November, December, because I live in California and the weather's perfect. That guy's just living his life. He's unreal.
He's
He's
cool,
living.
man. He's just cool. Some people are just cool.
Oh,
you know,
he's
some
got it.
people like
Yes.
not to throw Bryson under the bus, but think about the difference between Bryson. I'm serious. Like Freddie Couples and Bryson DeChambeau. Like they're both people. They're both people.
Yes, that is true.
But one guy is super cool and just charismatic, and people love him, people gravitate towards him. And then Bryson, people do the opposite. It's really interesting to me that I think Freddie Couples was born that way. He's just born cool. And some people are like that and some people aren't. It's very interesting. You would think that people are the same. You would think that everybody's the same. Everybody comes
is
stock
funny
and then
to
you get to
imagine-
figure it out. But then you can be cool and not cool.
2 men that have won many golf tournaments, they've won major championship, are in the golf spotlight, and one is undeniably, universally considered cool, and the other one is the least coolest person I think I've ever witnessed do anything ever. And that's coming from a show of we're not particularly cool people even.
He's
on
our
the
logo.
show.
He's our logo.
And he is just insufferable in a lot of things. And then Freddie Couples doesn't even try. He's not even really talking, it feels like. He's just walking around, and he's just cool as fuck. Shout out to Kirk Minahan. It's his favorite athlete of all time.
Incredible.
He texted me last night. He just wrote, "What a day." And I knew exactly what he was talking about. So credit to him. I know Freddie called in on Thursday of the President's Cup that morning to the Kirk Minahan show. And then a couple weeks later, he wins for the first time in 4 years. So I imagine Kirk's going to claim credit for that. But it's his favorite athlete in the world. And he gets his first win in 4 years. So credit to Fred Couples.
Dude,
That
Freddie
might be the
Couples.
Go ahead, Frank.
Oh, sorry. Well, Freddie Couples obviously has that relationship with Joey LaCava. We had played with Joey LaCava a couple times. Trent and I and a couple of my buddies and Brendan, we all went out there and played with Joey. I don't think we've actually fully talked about those days. I kind of like the fact that we always tease it and we never really talk about our experiences with Joey LaCava. Tiger Woods' caddy and Freddie Couples' caddy. But he is like the biggest Freddie guy of all time. Whenever we're with Freddie, he FaceTimes him or calls him on speakerphone. So we've been like in the mix with Freddie. We've talked about the fact of or the idea that maybe we can play a scramble against him. Would it be Joey and Freddie playing? And then we were like, oh, how's Freddie's game? Like us as a group talking, like, you think it would even be competitive? He's 63 years old. We play all these pros. We play, we're playing Sahith, and now we're going to play Freddie Couples. And then this guy comes out and he can close a fucking tournament with 7 birdies. I mean, he can play on his own with one hand at this point. Freddie Couples still has the game. I mean, if we go out there to one of his home tracks in California and we just play this guy in a 4-man scramble, you don't think he's going to dust us? Of course he is. He's Freddie fucking Couples. This guy has always had it, and he always will have it.
Yep.
He's going to be shooting his age until he's like 92.
Totally. With maybe the silkiest swing ever, kind of the Louis Oosthuizen and Adam Scott before Louis Oosthuizen and Adam Scott. But this might be it. There's a chance he's 63 years old. This might have been his swan song. There's a chance. So to go out and shoot 60, 12 under 60, wasn't a 10 under little soft par 70.
That's insane.
This was 12 under 60. Sorry, dropped my phone. And he won by 6 shots. I mean, if that's his last win, what a cool ass way to go out. What a guy.
He's so cool.
I love watching him. One of the cool parts about when we are, credentialed media at these tournaments, you get to walk around and just observe things. There's a lot of observing to do out there on the golf course. It doesn't get shown on TV, especially during practice rounds. Like, Freddie just walks up to every green when he's at the President's Cup and he's an assistant captain or whatever. Walks up to every green. He's just got his arm around Patrick Cantlay, and they're just pointing at different stuff, and I see Cantlay's giggling, and then like half hour later I see Freddie, and he's like on a FaceTime with Tiger Woods, and then he's like, I see him and he walks by Dewey and like ball taps Dewey. He's just like, he's Fred Couples. He's just his life seems so enjoyable. Like, he's just, and then occasionally jumps on Twitter and fires missiles at the live people, and it's great. He just is Freddie Boom Boom, living the dream. He got his Masters when his ball's stuck on the hill on 12. It's just, he's living the dream. He plays practice rounds with Tiger. Like, that's, whenever Tiger decides to show up at Augusta National for the Masters tournament, he's just got a standing tee time with Fred Couples. It's like he's just everywhere. He's everywhere a cool guy wants to be.
When we were having all those Islander games for the playoffs, and then all the players would come to Borelli's after to celebrate, Joey would sometimes come with like his friends. He would like sneak through the back door. We'd have him come through the back door, Borelli's, and he'd be in the back. And then one night, I remember all the players were kind of sitting around. He's telling stories about Tiger. And at one point, he goes, let me make a phone call. And we all thought, like, holy shit, like, who the hell is he calling right now? Is this going to be Tiger? And he ends up handing me the phone. And Freddie was on FaceTime. And he was like, yeah, I'm in, like, Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And I'm just at some event that I have to be at. I'm in the hotel. Like, how's it going? We talked for a half an hour about golf and hockey and athletes and how, like, why like hockey players can like relate to golf and like translate to golf. And it was crazy, but he is the nicest person on the planet. I don't think you've ever heard one bad thing about Freddie Couples ever in his whole entire career. You've never heard of one thing of one person having a bad interaction with him.
I saw him at the President's Cup this year. You were talking about it, Riggs, how he was kind of hanging around holding court. He gets to some tee. I can't remember. It was the drivable par 4 on the front. I think it was 8. And he's on the tee there, and some very, very cute child is like, Freddie. So he kind of looks at their parents, grabs the child's hand, takes the child under the rope. Child's just sitting there right in front of him watching an unobstructed view of Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas hit his tee shot. After they go, he goes, "Thanks for coming, kid." Hands the kid back to his parents and keeps walking. I was like, that's just the smoothest, coolest thing I've ever seen. I mean, the guy, yeah, you're right. There's not a guy with a more positive reputation probably in all of world golf than Fred Couples.
And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, Phil Mickelson. So Phil Mickelson with some quotes this past weekend. He said the biggest one was, I think I'm on the winning side. He said, I see live golf trending upwards. I see the PGA Tour trending downwards, and I love the side that I'm on. I love the way they involve us and listen to us in decisions. It's so inclusive. It's so fluid that live golf is that I think live golf is leading. I think going forward, you have to pick a side. You have to pick what side you think is going to be successful. I firmly believe that I'm on the winning side of how things are going to evolve and shape in the coming years for professional golf.
There was this period of Phil being a little subdued, like he got kind of spanked after the Alan Shipnuck interview. That period is officially over.
I mean, if we're comparing the fact that he's on one side and Tiger Woods is on the other, and he thinks he's on the winning side, he's never been on the winning side of anything that Tiger Woods has been on the opposing side of him ever. Like, legitimately, he's never been on the winning side of that. So,
it's also clear that the idea that the PGA Tour and live golf can coexist and maybe even have a partnership, it was never on the table. But I think the powers that be at live were probably like, if we can gain enough momentum, maybe we can strike a deal with Jay Monahan and the PGA Tour. The powers that be on the live side have clearly decided that is not happening. And Phil is their mouthpiece, and he's the guy who's going to draw a line in the sand and be like, nope, there's two sides and you got to pick which one you want to be on. And I'm on the live side. And right now I think I'm on the winning side. So now both sides are dug in, and there's just never, ever going to be any sort of relationship.
Monahan and Greg Norman are running these tours like they're countries, and there's like the possibility of war coming up. Like Greg Norman is this like communist crazy guy that's
strong,
like,
man.
Yeah, he's got all these nuclear weapons like that. We don't know if they even work, but like he's been kind of just like doing all these military walks and parades, and we see them. But then like Monahan's like, no, we've got like the strong loyalty army, but like they're definitely fighting right on the border. Like this isn't like Europe type of war. Like they're close. They don't have to go over any body of water. There's can be missiles fired overnight and change the landscape of this world. And that's where I feel this is going right now. Like these guys are not slowing down at all. This is escalating until a boiling point, and it's just going to fucking tip over and things are going to get messy.
Totally. I wanted to ask you guys, because he was asked about his comments that he gave to Shipnuck, and he again said, I never did that he basically said, I never did an interview with Alan Shipnuck. Which what he's saying is we never had an on-the-record interview. He used these comments that were off the record. It's a very thorny one in the journalism world.
For sure.
Some people approach it differently with record stuff. What do you guys think happened, and what are your guys' reads on that situation?
So it's a good question. I saw Shipnuck and the Fire.
I've spoken to Alan about it a lot.
Well, I saw them post about it yesterday, and basically Shippy's record of how it went down was that he got a call from Phil Mickelson at the time when he was doing a biography. So he was a biographer on Phil Mickelson. Phil called him and just started talking, and they're talking on the phone. And he said, at that point, never did Phil, as he was speaking, before he started speaking, whatever, say anything about being off the record. He never said anything about this is just between you and me. He says in the clip that I saw, he didn't say any of that. So Phil knows at this juncture that I'm a biographer. I've been looking to get an interview with Phil to kind of put a bow on this whole book. And so anything that he says at that point is going to be considered on the record. And he said, even if he had asked me to be off the record, Shippy says, I would have pushed back because I would have been like, no, I need this interview. This needs to be in my book. So that was Shipnuck's account of it. I think at this point, it would be really hard for me to imagine that Phil did say something about it being off the record and that Shipnuck is just lying about that.
It would be a ballsy move for sure. But Phil's will basically say I thought he knew that. What happens if Phil thought it was off the record, which is definitely possible, and Shipnuck knew that Phil thought it was off the record, but Phil never said it was off the record? Is Alan then good to go?
That's where it gets tricky. And I would actually put that question to you as the trained journalist from Northwestern. What do you think?
Well,
How's it usually go with you? Yeah.
It depends on. There are these sort of journalism rules, but there really aren't. I mean, there's no like governing body. If I'm in Alan's position and I'm writing a book on Phil Mickelson and he gives me all this information he doesn't explicitly say, then that's kind of on him. If you're going to say these things that are that spicy, then that's kind of on you. But I will say there are, times or scenarios in which you're more concerned about your relationship than with the story, right? So if I had something on someone who I have a good relationship with, and maybe they said something and it'd be news, but if I reported it, I know that they wouldn't talk to me again, and maybe their boys wouldn't talk to me again, then you think twice about it. Alan is in a different stage of his career where he's writing this book and he's got kids to put through college, and if he has to burn a bridge, he's not concerned with it. It's more of a personal thing. Like, are you willing to burn that bridge? Because I would think Alan's going to have a harder time getting interviews with players now. I mean, there's probably some who are going to respect what he's done a lot, but now that name is going to be synonymous with, oh, did he burn Phil Mickelson? So Phil's done everything in his power to sort of ruin his credibility, which is pretty aggressive.
And to be clear, Phil isn't saying that he never said it. He's saying
correct.
That he never, that he
didn't
was
do an interview,
that it was off the record. And that's where like you can get caught in the mud of journalism, and that's important. Like what's right, what's wrong, on the record, off the record. But to the general public, Phil said these things. He said these things, and it's like, people can battle all they want in the trenches about like, oh my God, where's the credibility lie? But at the end of the day, Phil said those things, and Phil knows that he said those things. He's just trying to make it seem like he was saying it, but it almost makes it like if he was saying it off the cuff, that makes it feel more true, but It also puts it in a world where maybe you can't put it in a book.
And Shipnuck's conclusion, which is this is not fact based, but his conclusion is knowing the guy and knowing how it went down. He thinks Phil purposely gave those quotes because he wanted them out there. He said what he said because he wanted the world to know how he truly felt, while he was in sort of this box where he couldn't necessarily just say how he truly felt. And I think that actually makes a lot of sense, where Shipnuck's like, my guess is like he said all these things knowing that I was going to put them out there, but that he could then claim that he didn't say them on the record. But he wanted
the best of both worlds for Phil then.
Right. It's like, he's like, I want everyone that's shitting on me to know that I know these are bad people and I don't condone a lot of the negative shit that's happened. But like, I also am in this spot where they're going to pay me $200 million, and I really do think this league has some potential, and here I am, and I could say that without then being able to claim that I got screwed, and here's a good way to do it. Now, that's pretty goddamn calculated, but if you read the book, I mean, and you've heard everything that we've all heard over the last 30 years, like Phil's a pretty calculated person when it comes to PR and media. Trent's main point is probably the key takeaway, which is like, I don't think the average person cares. They're like, Phil said this. Phil's not claiming he didn't say this. So I'm going to react to what he said.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that then prove that he did think it was off the record? If he's not denying that he didn't say it, why would he lie about, like, I know what you're saying, it's the best of both worlds, but wouldn't that make you lean towards believing Phil, since he's not saying like, no, he's actually lying about everything I said and it was off the record? He's just saying like, no, it was off the record. Wouldn't that be more believable, as opposed to, because he's not masking what he said, like you're saying. That's the worst part.
But if you leave it in a gray area, then it's up to the credibility of the journalist, and you fuck them over if you come out and say it was off the record but not explicitly stating that it was off the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a weird hill to die on, to be like, no, I said these things that I'm getting shit on for.
Yeah, but not on the record.
It was off the record, so I just feel like that part's just probably true then. You know
I believe the series of events that Riggs laid out. I think he's trying to have his cake and eat it too, and it's very calculated. But again, read the book or just know anything about.
Wouldn't he just say I didn't say those things then? Because that would be like the best.
But I think that he's worried Shipnuck taped it. That's my guess.
Oh,
because
that's a whole new thing then.
Well, Shipnuck isn't going to put the tapes out there because he wants you to have to buy the book, to read all of the book.
Right.
And so Phil can't necessarily claim he just didn't say something because he doesn't know who exactly he's dealing with. And I don't think it benefits Shipnuck. So I think you have to operate, if you're Phil, it's 2021 when he gave those quotes. Like, I think you have to operate like, I can't deny these, because people at this point, it's really easy to just prove that people said something.
Now, would that be legal, Danny, if someone recorded the actual audio without
it's a state-by-state issue. Some states have two-way consent, some don't.
Bro, what is happening in the world of golf where these are the topics? You know what
We're
I mean?
talking about two-way consent.
Like, it's really gotten to an insane place where it's like, did he record the phone call? Is it on the record? Is it off the record? It feels like Nixon. Like what? I don't like. This is crazy.
Yeah, but think about all the shit we've been able to talk about golf with Tiger Woods over the last fucking 15 years. It really hasn't been about golf. Like, so the biggest stories in golf have not been about golf. They've been about like walking a straight line in North Carolina, wherever the hell he was. Like it's about all things off the golf course has been the biggest stories. So,
I'm with you. And it's always
this is not
like,
the first time we've talked about tapes.
I don't think it's not the worst place to be where these are the things that we're talking about in golf. It's just like recorded phone calls, a credibility of a journalist. Like it feels like real world shit, but it's all about the golf world. But I'm into it because it's super interesting.
Yeah, things have gotten really real over the past couple of years. We're not talking so much about birdies and bogeys anymore.
No. And honestly, that's what America loves. We love drama.
Totally.
That's why
love it.
Reality TV is king. So this is what's going to put golf in the limelight and on people's radar and in the headlines, and that is what it is.
And I think it's even more interesting because it's golf, because it has this squeaky clean image, because you think of it as all gentlemen and no one curses and everyone wears khakis. And now you've got the Tiger Woods scandal where you've got the guy who has the most unbelievable reputation at the best sport is just absolutely going crazy in different restaurants around the country. And you've got guys who are taking Saudi money. Yeah, allegedly. You got guys who are taking Saudi. It's just like you have these people who are all buttoned up and then now they're acting a fool. I think it hits even harder because
meanwhile, all those buttoned up guys have been like the worst people in American history for the last hundreds of years. Like you go to any crusty white old country club and those guys are doing the worst things of all time. But they're like, nah, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, what are you talking about, dude? You own like the most corrupt companies in the fucking world. The whole thing is so fucking it's just so fucking stupid. Like everyone is just pointing fingers and it's all glass houses. It's like, let's just fucking make some birdies, man.
It's why Game of Thrones is so good. It's why Hot D is so good. You've got everybody's a fucking hypocrite pointing at how this person's like a whore. Meanwhile, they're trying to put their son, who's the king, who's raping people, as like the best person in the world. They're all full of fucking shit. It's like they're all full of shit, man.
Everybody's dirty. Everybody's dirty.
Yeah.
Like you can't find a clean candidate. It doesn't exist. Ever.
Same in politics in the U.S. Like everywhere, dude. Nobody's just perfect. We're human beings. People, especially now, people are living so long that like people are gonna do fucked up shit. They're let you around for too long. It's like, of course, it's like it's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
Curve. We got to talk about Curve. You know why I like talking about Curve? Because if you're not using it, it really doesn't make any sense. And the reason it makes a lot of sense is because Curve is one card that allows you to hook all your cards, your debit, your credit cards into one card, and then select which type of purchase you're using. It might be a new set of clubs. It might be a Chipotle burrito. It might be a flight. Which card that you have to select to get the proper and the maximum amount of rewards and points through that card. And then also you gain rewards and points through Curve. So you can sync everything up. You carry one card around, you use that puppy for everything, and then you max out all the different rewards through credit cards, and you get to use Curve and get Curve bonuses and points and the whole shebang.
So it is insane that we use all these cards and we just shove them in our wallet. Like the future is one card with a bunch of different cards on it. Curve is just on the forefront of it.
That's correct. Curve also gives you additional cash back on top of any rewards you've already are earning on your other credit and debit cards. Make sure you go to curve.com/barstool to receive $20 in Curve cash. Once you've downloaded the app, opened an account, and made a first transaction, sign up at curve.com/barstool to receive $20 in Curve cash. Terms and conditions apply. You got to get on the Curve train.
Speaking about being around for too long, someone sent me this video of this podcast, and I don't want to not credit them because I actually thought it was the way the guy laid it out was pretty interesting and funny the way the reaction happened. But he basically says that, and I'll try and find it, but he lays out how many people that needed to be alive for you to be alive.
I saw that. It was like 9,000 great-great-grandparents.
There's 4,000 people had to live and like get to a point where they reproduced and like So it was like you need two parents, you need 4 grandparents, you need 8 great-grandparents, and it kept going. And it got to 4,000 people needed to intermingle and succeed. And he was basically saying, like, how many successes and failures and problems and like things you had to overcome over the last 400 years for you to be sitting here right now talking about like your asshole on a golf podcast. You know what I mean? Like, how many things had to go right and wrong and horrific and good and happy? And it's just like there's so many storylines. I do get
weirded out about like lineage. Like
me too.
Obviously, yeah. I'm me, and I know my parents very well. I knew my grandparents.
Trent. It's called the 2 a.m. podcast. It was pretty good.
Like, I think about your world, and how small it is compared to what it really is. Like, I know me. I know my parents really well. I knew my grandparents really well. Didn't know my great-grandparents.
Yeah, great-grandparents starts getting really, really blurry.
It's blurry, but like just because it's blurry to you doesn't mean it didn't happen. Like there's people who are 3, 4, 5 generations who are the reason that I'm here, but I literally don't know that. I don't know anything about them. I don't know their names. Like I came from somewhere. I just think that I came from my parents, and it's like, oh yeah, then their parents. Those people are cool too. But there is such a long line of people from to the point where I come in that I just don't even know who those people are.
You have like 200 great-great-great-great-grandparents.
Right.
And
it's crazy.
The creepiest part is that it's butterfly effect times a billion to the most sensitive degree, because it's like literally if your great-great-great-grandparents that one Thursday night, if they didn't have that like romantic touch because of a candle and they fucked the next night instead, like you're a totally different offspring, and those people before you that were like your great-grandparents, their parents, are totally different human beings that are different people because everything is different.
Literally, or if they just like did a dual,
everything's different.
Like a dual sword suicide or something, it's over. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's
all this is over.
That's done. Your line just ceased to exist 300 years ago. Or like if the family got poisoned, they were at the Red Wedding or something, like, and they all just got murdered. It's over. Like so many things could have happened.
Dude, if one of them was in battle and like a bullet actually missed their ear by 6 inches instead of actually hits them, like it's all over for your whole lineage. It's just none of it exists.
You're not who you are.
It's so random. That's just completely random.
It's life-changing to think about it that way. And it makes you think like you have to be happy for that, like what happened to get you there. Like I almost want to like go dig deep. Like who was Frankie Borelli 300 years ago? Can I find that?
Right. I get why you start to understand why there are people who get super obsessed with ancestors and ancestry. Like they're like, where did this come from? And I wasn't that into it for a long time. But then if you sit and think about it, it's almost everything. Like the fact that it actually happened, and it did happen. There's people like my grandparents. Those are people who are very integral in my existence, and I just don't know their names, don't know where they came from, have no idea. It's weird.
I'll play the other side because my mom's cousin was one of those people who got really interested, and he made a family tree going back to like the 1650s. Whoa. And once I found out, it was just sort of like, yeah, that sounds right. You know, like some like Jewish guy who lived in Poland.
That's so interesting, though.
Why is it? But why
really
is that so interesting?
Dude.
Really?
Dude, it is. Why isn't it interesting?
Because you came
he had
from
to
that.
like survive, and he had to like figure it out, and his parents had to figure it out, and then his kids had to figure it out, and then their kids had to figure it out, and everyone just had to figure it out.
Everyone's just figuring it out.
The odds of figuring it out, especially in the 1600s, 1700s, is so fucking like rare. I feel like, but we all do it.
Think about how much you love your parents. Think about how much you love your grandparents. Those generations before that, you would love them just the same. You just didn't know them. You just don't know who they are.
Yeah, true. Very, very, very true. And it's also really weird to think that when they were living, your great-great-grandparents, like 150 years ago or 200 years ago, like they were living in what they considered to be the most modern time ever.
That's what trips me out.
Like they literally were like, how about this gunpowder and cannons we got? Like this is legitimately magic. Like, holy fuck. This is crazy.
Do you think anyone in your lineage did anything ridiculously impressive? Like
they escaped the Nazis.
Oh, there you go. That's pretty damn good.
That's pretty good. Really I'll take that.
That's huge. Honestly,
that's
really
pretty damn good. And that is historical for sure. I don't want you to think that's not historical. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, fucking like your great grandfather or 300-year-old great grandfather is like Abraham Lincoln or something crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and you just wouldn't know it. Like, do you think someone in your line was so famous and you just have no idea about it?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know.
I don't know either. I know, like, I think it's probably more likely they did something really bad.
Right.
Somebody in your lineage, just something.
I just had a bunch of fucking mean Italians in fucking some little village for the last 400 years, just probably doing some stupid shit with fat faces. There's just a bunch of chubby faces, skinny guys, all this. I actually want to go for next year when we go to the Ryder Cup. If we go to the Ryder Cup, I want to go to my village, like a Finding Frankie's Family, and we just roll up on this village and see if we can find a Borelli. That'd be unbelievable.
That'd be good.
It'd be so much fun.
Well, who's your closest relative still in Italy? Is there anyone, like, do you know?
Yeah, my dad's father, who started Borelli's with his two brothers, they all came from like a little town outside Naples. And then they have some cousins. Two of them are passed away at this point, but one, Uncle Phil, is still around. He has family there for sure. Like, so there's like brothers of my dad's uncles that are definitely there.
Okay, so
or
there's
cousins of my dad's
presence,
uncles.
for sure.
My dad's got cousins in Italy for sure. So it's like not too far removed.
Yeah.
We don't have to go that far back, but it'd be nice to meet like some old lady spinning some fucking sauce in a pot, being like, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? Like, as I walk up and she's like, no, you're pathetic. You're an embarrassment to our name. And I just kind of walk away and apologize.
Right. See, that's nice.
I walk up in a Peter Millar outfit, like
tailor-made golf hat.
Hello, Nana. It's like, get the fuck out of here. They like
I'm in a video game. She's like, what is that? What are you talking about? I don't understand. At least you have
what is this, a video game?
At least you have a connection. Like, I'm Irish. I know that I'm Irish, but that's all I know. We have no connection to Ireland. We have no family members that we know of there. Like, at least that's cool that you have, I have that, family, but my mom's in the old
Irish
country
too. My mom's like 100% Irish or like 80% Irish. So like, it'd be nice to see that side of the family too. Like, yeah, I don't know anything about that side. Nothing.
It's weird, man.
I don't really know anything about not anything, but after like 2-3 generations, I know nothing. I know essentially nothing. I know we're Armenian on my dad's side of the family. That's Bazoyan, IAN. And like, I know that they essentially, like, my great grandparents, I believe, escaped like the Turkish genocide in like the early 1900s and came to America and like rekindled. And that's where my dad's side of the family comes from. But before that, I mean, how those two met each other and who they came from, I have no idea. And then on my mom's side, I know even less about it. Not out of lack of interest. I just have never, for whatever reason, committed any effort to finding out.
Armenian, isn't that what the Kardashians are?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything you see IAN, EAN, that's all Armenian, like Bogosian, if you're looking at like hockey players.
Yeah.
Anytime you see that, Dan Blazerian, anything IAN, EAN, it's Armenian.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah, that is interesting.
I feel like an obsession with my ancestors is coming down the pipe for me.
Have you signed up for Ancestry or DNA or
shit?
like Ancestry.com or anything?
No, I've never done any of that.
Order it. Start spitting in some vials, dude.
Okay.
That's cool. You'll find out some
23 and me.
Your great grandmother had like 4 affairs, and you have like all these like extra cousins that you had no idea about.
They're gonna sell my information to the government, and now I'm gonna be on the grid. No, I'll do it. I don't give a fuck.
Dude, Face ID, it's already done.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried about any of that.
I show up to Clear, and they already had all my information. Like, how old is your sister, and why? Like, it's just, how the fuck do you know I have a sister? I don't know.
Dude, the Face ID stuff is crazy. Have you guys ever heard of this airline, JSX?
No,
you told us about it. Is that the one in Arizona?
I've told you guys a little bit, but it's a small one that goes like a handful of spots out on the West Coast, so they get bigger. They're basically like small, really small, jets, what you would consider like a really big like private jet, but it's an airline, and they have their own terminal, and at Phoenix and in Vegas, in I think Monterey, and they're trying to get more and more. But it's cool. It's like between a private jet and a commercial flight. It's a little bit more expensive than commercial, but it's not crazy. Anyways, they have their own terminal that you check in at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. It's completely different. You don't have to go through the main one at all. You show up 20 minutes before your flight. You walk in. They got like little coffee. Then you walk through a tiny little metal detector when it's time to board. And that's it. That's the whole deal. You don't have to go through anything else. And I flew there in, June or something like that. I flew JSX to Vegas, and we had the Classic there. And we had a JSX pilot sitting in front of us. And I said to him, he was answering all our questions. This guy was incredible. And he was just talking about flight and how you bank this way and the plane's about to do this and here's why. It was fucking fascinating. I was like, well, I gotta ask you a question. Seems like security is extremely light here. Like the fact that somebody can get on a plane that's the same plane that I booked a ticket on with what appears to be incredibly limited security whatsoever. It seems like it would just need to be tighter with everything that's gone on since 9/11, the whole deal. And he was like, well, what you got to realize is when you walk into that terminal has all of this facial recognition technology that they actually have in main airports too, but there's so many people there that they can't fully rely on it. When you walk into that terminal, they know everything about you. They know who you are, your background, how big of a threat you could possibly be, and if they need to do more security than normal. So the second that you walk in, before you've even checked in at the counter and handed them your bag, they know everything about you, and they know that you're good to go and that you're not a threat. And I was like, holy fuck. And he's like, yeah, that's why you're funneled in a certain way. That's why it's a pretty small, intimate little terminal. That's why they don't need more security, because they pretty much know right away.
Is that to suggest that if like one of the main terrorists walked into JFK, that JFK would know the airport? Like they have that? The way
he kind of described it to me was like their facial recognition technology that they have in big spots like that. Yeah, we'll like identify pretty much everyone, put them through like a database, and they'll spit it out. Now, again, he said like they need real security, not real, but like beefed up security airports because there's so many people that you can't fully rely on it. But he's like in a terminal like this where there's only 10 to 25 people on a flight that are coming through at a time. Like they're able to get everything about everybody the second that they walk in there. I was like, holy fuck.
I think the way that ends with the facial recognition software, and this could be 100 years in the future, I think that ends with like social scores. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like the Black Mirror.
So I watched 2 episodes of Black Mirror and it depressed me, so I had to stop watching.
Oh, there's one of them where that's the whole thing. Is there's this product where you just have a score in your life of like they factor in how much money you make, how good looking you are, how old you are, all that stuff. You just have a score, and if you're not a certain score, you're not allowed in certain restaurants or certain clubs.
Right, like Riggs is saying that it does the facial recognition and it determines how much of a threat you are. Just play that out like 100 years, and it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be everything.
Also, when Black Mirror did the one where like you have all your money or points based on, just like on your body, and you only have a certain amount, right? Like, wasn't it like you died if you let go of all of them?
Yeah, it's like social capital. It's the same idea.
Social capital, right?
The one,
so like you like went to dinner or something, and someone would like throw you 3 more points or whatever, and like you wanted to gain as many points as you possibly could, and then some people had like no points, no capital at all, and they were like dying.
The one that made me bail was. It's early on, but it's the guy, he wakes up and you're in like a pod and you can get on the treadmill or the exercise bike and you gain up all these points, and he gets all these points and he gives it to this girl that he likes, and she ends up being a porn star, and he ends up freaking out and like breaking the glass, and he becomes the broken glass guy, and people give him money to do like the broken glass show. It like, I like had to go for a walk and like figure out like what I was going to do with my life. Cause that show will put you in dark positions and you're just like, this is probably where everything's going.
Well, the one that really turned me off to the show, because I had to probably take a walk around my house when I saw it, was when everyone was able to record on their little like contact lenses. So everything was being recorded. And this woman was like obsessed with like killing people because like she killed someone by accident. In like an argument, she like pushed him off a cliff or something, or she hit a bicyclist and murdered someone, and like she didn't know what happened, so she got rid of him. But then like her vision was like now recorded everything, and someone saw her, so then she like went to that person's house and killed that person, and it kept going. And at the very end, she like kills the last person that could have possibly seen, and like the scene ends with just this baby crying in a carriage.
Oh.
And the baby's looking at her, and she's like, "Oh, well, like that's the last one." And she just like suffocates the baby, and the show ends. It just goes to black.
It's dark,
like,
dude.
It's that'll put
it's
you.
Just the end of the show.
Ruin your day.
Just the end of the show.
Gotta do it. Gotta do it.
I'm watching a fucked up show right now that's based on a true story, and it gave me nightmares last night. So much to the point where I had to go close my bedroom door. Like that's how bad it was, and I had to close the closet door. Dude, no, I've watched it. That was fine. Like that's obviously a fucked show, but like I knew what happened in that. This is called The Watcher on Netflix.
I've seen an ad for it.
It happened in New Jersey like 4 years ago, and in the fact, like, dude,
talking. I'm gonna go pee.
No, I don't know if I like. It's the type of scary that I don't like. It's the type of scary that I don't like, where it's like it's not believable. It's just people fucking with other people. And like, I don't like looking out of windows and seeing people staring at me. I always feel like when I look outside, like my kitchen window or like my dining room window, I'm just going to see someone standing in the fucking street just staring. And this whole show is just filled with that. So
it's a stalker.
Dude, I don't really know what it is. I mean, do you guys want me to like explain it? I don't really.
No, I'm going to watch it. I think I'm gonna
it's
watch
a true story. It's it's about this house in New Jersey.
You guys see the Everest?
It's called a psychological thriller, and I did not think that'd be a horror show. Like they have to be better with naming fucking shows on Netflix because it said psychological thriller. I'm like, oh, I like psychology, and like a thriller to me is like, Knives Out. Like I'm thinking this is Knives Out. Like who done it? Like there may have been one scary part in the beginning, and then like the rest of it's like family fighting and all this stuff. Nope. The first scene's like, boo. Like, you're just like, what the fuck's happening? Why am I watching this at 1 a.m. in the morning? This is fucking nuts. My heart was racing I had to take a walk. I had to go get water last night. I got a water last night. And I looked around the corner every time I entered a new part of my house.
My old roommate, Robbie Fox, used to do that to me because he knows I hate horror movies. I can't go through the experience of just being scared for 2 hours. So he would pitch movies to me as thrillers. He would be like, yeah, it's a thriller. I was like, oh, that sounds great. And then it'd just be a full-blown horror movie. And you're like, fuck off, dude. Fuck off.
Psychological thriller. Fuck.
I don't watch that shit either. I just don't need it. My theory is it's hard enough, as has been documented, to be like a mentally healthy, happy person at any given minute of any day. And there's no way watching that shit's going to help me achieve that.
It's like roller coasters with me. As I got older, I couldn't do it anymore. Like,
Riggs, you have too much control over your fucking mental state. I don't like it. Like when I complain to you about comments and stuff, you're like, I don't read comments. You do too many things that are just like good, mature things.
Yeah, but that took a while to get to that.
You need to have more self-deprecating qualities.
Occasionally.
No,
you read them occasionally, but you become number to it as you just have been through it more, like anything else.
Yeah. I just feel like you've got too much control. I don't like it.
The only thing I don't like is that we buy these houses from people and we don't know what they did in the houses prior, and we don't know what they've set up in the house while we're living here. Like I haven't checked every nook and cranny in my house. You know what I mean? I have not. And I've been living here for like 8 months. There's probably some parts that I haven't laid my eyes on in this house. I have no idea if someone left something there, if there's like a hidden room somewhere, there's like cameras set up somewhere. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe some of these like screws in the wall have like little cameras in them or something. You know what I mean? I don't know anything. I didn't build this house. That's a nightmare. That's a full-blown horror show.
You should do a scope after we stop recording.
I might start doing like a metal detector thing where I walk around and just check the walls.
You're gonna go insane.
I have an attic that I have really never went into. I went in once. I just don't check
Attics are scary. They're kind of just scary in general.
They're super scary. And ours is kind of nice. You could actually stand up in it. Like it's like pretty tall. Like the highest part of our house is because of the attic for some reason.
Sounds I think we have like a room.
You know? No, it's an attic. Like it's got all like the pumps up there. It's got all the air conditioning systems. It's got like the condensate pump and all that shit. I never check it though. Something could be up there.
I saw, I think it was a TikTok of this guy who was living in a house or an apartment. Okay. And he was living there for like a year. All right. And he would wake up and like the refrigerator would be different. The stuff.
So what are you talking about right now?
Be different. And he's like, something's fucked up with this apartment. So he put up a camera in his apartment, and there was like a little door up above those closets in my apartment. When he would go to bed and he'd close his bedroom door, just some girl would just get out, step down, go in the refrigerator and like get stuff and then go back up there. She was just living there. She was living in his place for like a year, and he was like, why is this happening? So he set up a camera and there was someone else living there.
Now, immediately he thought that was a ghost or a demon, right? Like when he's watching back that camera footage and you're like, all right, when you set up that camera and you're like, I hope not to find anything, right? Right. I hope that when I set up this camera and point it at this refrigerator that I find nothing and that I've just been misplacing things in my refrigerator. But what he ends up finding is some woman opens up some door in his ceiling, and she climbs out of the ceiling, opens up the refrigerator and climbs back into the ceiling. Immediate thoughts is this house is extremely haunted. I'm looking at a live ghost.
They show you the footage and it looks like Paranormal Activity because it's an at-night camera and it's just a body appears and you're like, holy fuck.
So what I'm doing is I'm walking into the kitchen the next day. I'm not making any scene and I'm just screaming out loud, yeah, the house is now going to be on fire, and I just light the place on fire. I let them know, we're going to light this part on fire right now. And then we just, boom, we torch it with the person in it. Murder. It's probably murder. But I mean, you have to do it. You can't.
Manslaughter.
You just, you can't. I
mean, they're not exactly in the right.
No, yes. They have to go down with the house. If you're hiding in a house for a year and you're treating me like you're paranormal activity, I'm killing you.
It's like offsetting penalties in football. You know, if it's offside or roughing the passer, it doesn't matter. They're offsetting.
I got a little something going on in my apartment where, you know what really bothers me, like in a hotel or when you live in an apartment where you're not the top floor and you can hear people walking and there's just heavy steppers and you're just like, just lighten up a little bit. And I'm sure I'm a problem too because I'm a big body and I'm not exactly a ballerina, but I live in this new apartment. I live on the top floor. Like it's not a tall building, but I live on the top floor of the building and I can still hear steps and I don't know what that is.
Is there roof access? Is there a roof over you?
There is definitely a roof over me, and I don't know what the access to it is. But I don't think it's a happening area.
It's not like a hospitality trafficked area.
No, but and either one, it's people. Two, it's a ghost. Or three, like there maybe if you step like through the hallway, maybe it sounds like it's coming from above, but it just annoys the shit out of me sometimes. And I'm like, I'm on the top floor. I didn't think I would have to deal with.
Maybe it's a squirrel.
No, it's steps.
Okay,
it's human steps.
Chupacabra or Bigfoot or something.
Could be. I'm open to any option at this point because I live on the top floor and I'm like, I'm definitely not going to hear people stepping.
I pay for the top floor. Why is there fucking
excuse
above
me? I have 3 TVs. I'm rich. I'm the richest person in the world. The
richest person who's ever lived.
That's right. And I hear people stepping above me and I'm on the top floor. What's going on? And I haven't asked anybody about it. I'm just talking about it on a podcast. So that's what's going on with me.
Because they're going to be what? They're not going to know the answer.
Let's do a little CrossCountry Mortgage last question of the day. How you guys feel about that?
Love it.
I feel really good about that.
You guys feel really good about that? CrossCountry Mortgage, you know all about them. They listen to the best mortgage company. This is the only mortgage company in the world you can fall in love with, I would say. See if you qualified today. Visit ccm.com/barstool now. CrossCountry Mortgage, LLC, NMLS 3029. All loans subject to underwriting approval. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Frankie, we love CrossCountry Mortgage, don't we?
We love CrossCountry Mortgage. With rates going up and all this stuff, you don't know who to trust. You got to make sure that if you're buying a house, all right, you just had your summer wedding, you're staying at mom and dad's house, you guys got to get your money together. You know you're moving to a new place. It's a very stressful moment of saying, where are we going to go? Who are we going to trust? Who are we going to put all this money towards? It's CrossCountry Mortgage. That is the answer. I'm telling you guys. You can have phone calls with them, video conferences with them. They're going to walk you through every single step. CrossCountry Mortgage is the group. Do it.
ccm.com/barstool now. Go check them out. Last question. Our friend named Matt says, if all 4 of you were to fight a bear together, would you win and why?
Yes.
What?
I would say yes.
I say no.
It depends on the type of bear.
Definitely.
And the reason I say yes is because we're not that small as a crew. For as like comparatively soft as we are and unaccomplished, we're not that small.
I got a couple questions about about this bear scenario. What ends the fight? Do we have to kill the bear?
Yeah.
I think this thing rips us to shreds.
Like, I don't think the bear's gonna like tap out. So I feel like we're probably gonna have to.
How do you think we're gonna beat this? Like,
the thing is,
well, one of us is gonna die.
What's the kill shot?
One of us is gonna die.
Definitely.
What's the kill shot?
We're all gonna die.
Who's killing this thing?
We're all gonna die. Dude, I think if we really, which I don't think we'd be able to do, hence why I think we would get defeated in dramatic fashion. But no, I think the way we would actually be able to kill it is if we could somehow wrestle it down to the ground and all just kick it in the head repeatedly. I think it would probably die. I really do. But I don't know that we're going to get to that point. I think it's going to absolutely dust us, and I don't think it's going to be very close. Like I think the bear will borderline not even be wounded in any degree, and we'll all 4 be dead.
Dan, what I think you're underestimating is a bear who knows it's in a fight is gonna just tear us apart. Like if we snuck attack a bear, if we snuck attack a bear, maybe. But if you give him the chance to realize that he is being attacked, I think we're paper scraps.
But I think we have a chance of surprising
him. Come up and like cuddle with bears. What do you mean surprise them? His hearing's better than ours. His smell's better than ours. Everything's better than ours, and he literally just encounters and kills other creatures all the time. That's just what he does.
I'd pass out of fear. I would just.
If he
drop.
sees Liver
All right,
King,
so we're down to 3.
If he sees Liver King, he knows he's in for a fight. If he sees the Fore Play podcast dressed head to toe in Peter Millar, he probably thinks that we're not going to attack. I think there's an opportunity for a surprise element here that you don't have with a tougher looking group of guys.
Like, I don't think the Liver King and Dan Bilzerian could kill a bear with their bare hands together.
Well, they're only 2.
I don't think the strength has anything to do with it. It's just like you can't. Dude, these things are like 7 feet tall, aren't they?
Well, it depends how big the bear is.
If we're talking a grizzly bear or polar bear, dude, they are
just gonna claw the shit out of you.
Gigantic creatures.
Also, imagine our communication skills in that moment. Like, there's 4 of us, so we got to figure this thing out, and we are all going to be shitting and pissing our pants.
We're gonna punch it.
Like, oh yeah, try to kick it. Kick it in the leg.
All right, Frankie, step up there, punch him in the chest, and it's like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? As soon as Frankie steps to the bear, it's gonna paw him in the face, and Frankie's done. So now we got 3 of us, and I really think it's impossible almost.
Without weapons, it's impossible.
All right, I was wrong.
I appreciate the confidence that we can do that.
I mean, we are, to Dan's point, we are 4 pretty physical specimens. As pathetic as we are relative to other humans, we are humans. Like, we can kick and punch and fight for our lives, but like, I don't think it's gonna matter. I think one swoop with the claw takes out 2 of us instantly. That he's got like 5 sharp knives on his giant hand. He's Wolverine times a million. Like, he just
If he touches my head, I'm going full. We wouldn't even hurt him. If he touches my head, I'm going full 2-up. My hands are freezing.
I think if we get 1 knife, now we're talking, but no weapons.
Yeah, I agree.
We're not even going to come close.
Okay, fair enough.
I think we get all 4 of us get killed, and I think he walks away like Neo in the Matrix after any time he encounters a bunch of bad guys and he just destroys them and then walks away like nothing happened. I think that would be what the bear would do. Would literally just claw us, kill us, bite our necks in half. We'd all be lying there, not breathing, not making a single sound, dead, gory, and he would just walk on to like picking berries around the corner, and it's not a big deal.
Yep.
Testosterone. Important part of a man's body and health, but men's testosterone starts to deplete with age, which is why it's important you support it early. Did you guys know that?
I did not.
Testosterone is important for sure.
You hear about testosterone, and you have to be able to check like if you have enough or if you're depleted. Yeah, it's a very important thing because it doesn't have to just do with what things. I feel like it gets a bad rap with like low T, all this stuff. Like, no, it has a lot to do with like your mood and like you just being a better energy and like you're just being a better person, a healthier person. This is something that gets overlooked all the time.
Well, low T, like you just mentioned, can include a decline in energy and stamina, weight gain, hair loss, and low sex drive. Roman's testosterone support supplements were designed by real doctors to help men maintain their body's natural testosterone production. The daily supplement includes 6 nutrients to help support testosterone levels, bone health, and muscle development. We wouldn't want to have the proper levels of testosterone in their body. Who wouldn't want to? I think you would want to because of all the negatives that I included, like a decline in energy, stamina, weight gain, all the negatives. We have a special offer just for our listeners. Use this link to get 20% off your first order. That link is getroman.com/foreplay. Today, getroman.com/foreplay for 20% off. And now Roman Tea Support is also available nationwide in retail. Find Roman Tea Support in the supplements aisle at your local Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. Hit that link. GetRoman.com/foreplay for 20% off today.
I'm reading on Twitter the Yankees plane like hasn't like taken off yet, and they're still in Cleveland.
Aren't they playing tonight?
They like got delayed. So now some people are saying it might be the family plane, that their flight got in early this morning, but still like a weird thing that they did not take off last night and that they're getting into New York and going like straight to the stadium as if they're just like fans. Like they get in and they just go.
Yeah, I would have thought they left last night for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's a blue checkmark guy with 491,000 Twitter followers saying Yankees team plane is still in Cleveland.
How you feeling for tonight, Frank? I guess this will.
I feel good. I mean,
afterwards.
the fact that the Yankees didn't the fact that they blew it 2 nights ago was brutal. I fucking hate that Naylor guy. That the rocking the baby thing was one of the more preposterous celebrations I've ever seen in my entire life. I understand running around doing it. I actually kind of got into it. I was like, that's fucking hilarious. But when I saw the alternate angle of him hitting home plate and running to the Yankee dugout, going fucking crazy, being like, I'm that guy. Like, you're still down in the game. That was a solo shot. You're still losing.
I loved that.
I also thought there had to be some sort of personal history between the two of them, but that was just
he just calls everyone he hits a home run off of his son.
Awesome.
I do want to say we don't talk much gambling on this show, but I bet on Tennessee on Saturday, Barstool Sportsbook plus 260.
So Trent and I both got Tennessee in, and so we were both able to get it in on the Barstool Sportsbook. We bet Tennessee. Tennessee. We got that in. It was an amazing game to watch. I had a bunch of my buddies over. Everyone's riding Tennessee. We couldn't believe that game. We bet that money line, no spread against Alabama. Alabama misses a field goal. We're going bananas. I've never seen Trent scream like this before because he's not a sports fan. So you are a sports fan. You're not what? You're not a pro sports fan. So I don't get to watch big games with you, right? You're just an Iowa fan, and I don't get to watch you watch an elimination game or anything. You're not on streams watching sports is my point.
Yeah.
So watching Trent go crazy over this game was fucking awesome. Every single play were die hard. And then that win at the end. I mean, we all hugged each other. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars were won amongst the four of us. And we just couldn't believe what we were watching. The best college game I've ever watched in my entire life.
Me and Big Rob hugged. It was great.
Yes.
It was really an amazing situation.
One of the funniest parts was on the Alabama field goal that they missed. It went so wide right at one point that we all jumped together to celebrate, and then Rob stayed still because he knew that ball was coming back. It had a draw on it, and it just missed. He's like, "Oh my god, you guys celebrated as the ball was in the air, but it almost came back in." We were dying. What a good game!
I merged a little business and pleasure this weekend. I watched the Alabama-Tennessee game with Pilar and Allison.
Wow.
Little merch squad.
Pilar and Allison came and met myself and Emma and a bunch of our friends, and everyone drank and was merry, and it was a great time.
I saw Jake Bass was devastated, which, I don't want to say it made me happy, but he talks so much about Alabama and how invincible they are that I saw a video of him being devastated, and it put a little bit of a smile on my face.
We went to Wogies in the West Village area.
Wow, and, what a get together.
Oh, it was great. And someone, some stoolie came up and said hi to me, and Emma could not believe it. She thought it was the funniest thing she'd ever seen in her life. She'd never seen me be recognized not at a golf course, because it happens at golf tournaments a lot, but she had never seen it in person, and she couldn't believe it. I think she called her mom immediately and was like, I'm dating a celebrity. So, that was cool.
I would imagine now that you're in a video game, it's going to be happening a lot more. So
yeah.
Speaking of sports fans, Pilar is the most.
Dude, she was streaming. She was watching
sports fan.
She had to sit in one spot on the corner so she could watch the Phillies game while she's watching an Alabama game, and she had the Maple Leafs game streaming on her phone. She's an animal.
Yeah, crazy. She's an animal. Crazy when it comes to Toronto Maple Leafs. We've gotten in screaming matches over hockey. She'll just give it right back to you. And then Texas, obviously. Texas is sneaky, a really good college football team this year. They lost 2 games. They lost 2 games, one against Alabama that they should have won, and then the other one they lost in overtime with their backup quarterback. They should be a top 5 ranked team in the country. I like when Texas is back. I'm not the biggest college football fan, but this year, obviously, with gambling, with the Barstool Sportsbook, it's been so much more fun to get into it. I'm hook 'em Texas. I think when Texas is good, Matt McConaughey's on the fucking sidelines. It's a fun game. They absolutely destroyed Oklahoma State in the Red River Classic. Is that what we're calling it?
I believe so, yeah.
Red River Rivalry.
Red River Rivalry.
Red River Rivalry. I think it's the triple R's. But yeah, no, it's fun
that's
right now.
That's an easy one to be Red River. Why would we?
Toronto Maple Leafs are an absolute joke, by the way. They have no goaltending. How do you build that team with that much offensive power and no goaltender? Dude, their starting goaltender is Matt Murray, and he's out for 4 weeks. They literally said that when Matt Murray got hurt that morning that they had to get an amateur, legit non-professional goalie to back up. They didn't know what they were scrambling. They didn't know how to get a goalie in uniform to come to that game.
Fuck, still 2-1.
Yeah, fuck the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, no, I like when Toronto's. I'm similar with Texas with Toronto Maple Leafs. I wish that they would win a little bit. It's funny that they lose, but those people live and die hockey up there. I just feel bad for them that the Toronto Maple Leafs haven't won a playoff series in like 25 years or whatever it's been.
Tavares has yet to win a playoff series since he's left the New York Islanders. That is impossible to believe. He left to go win. His reasoning was like, you only have one career, and this is my time to like really on the peak of my athletic abilities, and I want to join a team that's just gonna win. And he just hasn't done any of it. None of it.
I do want to say when we went to the opening night for the Islanders, it's cool like knowing those guys a little bit more than I did last year, and watching Barzal skate is unbelievable. He is so much faster than everybody else on the ice. I can't believe it. Like those are all professional athletes, and he makes some of them look like they're standing still. It's crazy.
I know.
$70
Wait
million
until the
man.
Avs come in town. You see McCarr do it. It's just even more different.
Wait, when are the Avs playing the Islanders? Because I got to go. Soon, isn't it?
I think it's pretty soon because they're playing like 3 games. I think they play the Rangers, Islanders, and the Devils all in one swing. So they'll be here for a long time.
Wow, they play on Saturday night of Halloween.
Holy shit. That's going to be a tough
Blues
one for me
play
to
the
make.
Islanders in New York on December 6th, that's all.
December 6th.
Mm-hmm. There'll be a little bit of Christmas spirit up there. I might come up for that.
That'll be a lot of fun.
In with Christmas in New York.
I think I'm playing golf with Francis Ellis tomorrow.
Wow. I love Francis Ellis. He's a good player.
He's a great player.
He invited us both to play on Saturday. I couldn't make it.
Yeah, we were supposed to play Bayonne.
I
think
guess
we're playing Deepdale tomorrow.
I didn't get the follow-up invite.
No, I think we're doing Deepdale tomorrow.
Briggs' favorite
That's
place.
going to be that was the catalyst for the like we don't like fast greens stuff that people freaked out about on the internet.
100%. No, I don't like it. I really, really like that golf course. It's one of the funnest golf courses on Long Island, in the area. But fuck, man, if I can just putt a little bit better, I'll have more fun, because the first couple times I've played, I wanted to walk off the course after 11 holes. But it is that challenge where it's like, can I finish this round of golf without getting annoyed? Like, I want to keep playing it until I have fun.
Francis lives across the street from me, and I always see him walking his little French bulldog, and mine very much not French bulldog wants to eat his dog, I think.
Oh. Fuck.
There you go. Neighborhood run-ins, baby.
Neighborhood run-ins.
All right. I think we're done here, boys and girls. We'll be back on Thursday per usual. What do we got? What video we got coming out Thursday night? Anybody know?
Avs?
Is it the Avs or is it Breaking 90?
I think it's Breaking 90.
Wow. Biggest video
That's
we've
big.
ever released.
A lot of the questions that we got were about when's Breaking 90 coming back.
Thursday.
Rockville Links, attempt number 10, I believe this is, or 9.
Attempt number 9.
Attempt number 9, Rockville Links. We went back to the site of the 5th hole. This is his bugaboo. This is the hole that he can't get over. We have to make sure that we get through the first 5 holes, and then we're going to see where we're at. I'm telling you guys right now, it's a must-watch video, as all Breaking 90s are. Trent Ryan is back in the mix. He's using his 10-finger grip off the tee. It's his first time doing that in a Breaking 90. This place was fucking rolling too. Like, wait until you see some of these greens at Rockville Links. I don't know, something about Northeast fall golf greens that are just different, man. They are pure as fuck. So these greens were rolling. It's a lot of fun.
Built different.
They're built different.
Well, we'll be here to talk about it all day Thursday on our next Fore Play Golf podcast. Big shout out to our sponsors, to Chevy, Game Time, Shopify, Curve, CrossCountry Mortgage, Roman. Shout out to all the listeners.
The fall line is out, by the way. The fall line is out and about. We have an extremely good line. We talked about the merch team a little bit before, but they did a great job with this stuff. I mean, the hats right now, you got the Common Man Country Club hat that I'm wearing, which is one of the best hats ever. If you're not watching this on YouTube, at least go on YouTube right now and just see this hat that I'm wearing, and you're going to want to buy it. You're going to want to send it to your buddies. It's such a good hat. We've got all these amazing Unreal hoodies, Unreal quarter zips. They're Unreal. This company out of Minnesota has just taken over the game, man. They're
stepping it up.
They're stepping it up. Their collared shirts are next level, and their fucking quarter zips are tight. They are athletic. They feel good.
And the joggers, I feel like I'm living in.
Oh my God. The sweatpants are the best pairs of pants I've ever had in my entire life. And that's not even a set. Like, those sweatpants could have like the good logo on them, and I would wear them. That's how good. Like, they are the best fucking pants I've ever had in my entire life.
I think that's like the 6th straight podcast that we've referenced. Good here.
Well, yeah, there's no getting around.
Hell yeah.
They're a fucking juggernaut.
Wagon.
They are.
Around.
They're not in a video game though, which is pretty cool. No shots at that. It's just a fact.
Okay. Well, we'll be back Thursday. Everybody have a lovely week. Enjoy your lives. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.